Chapter 51. Fight, fight, fight. From the very beginning, Sun Wufei and Son Goku had already exerted their full strength and unleashed their strongest fighting power. The two brothers have already had too many ordinary fights. There is no need to test each other. Just duel directly. It was so fast that the figures were almost invisible, and only muffled sounds could be heard from the ring. The strong wind from the fists and feet kept spreading out, causing pain on people's faces. Even Yamcha and Master Roshi had trouble seeing the movements of the Gofei brothers. The only one who could follow with his eyes was Krillin, and even Tien Shinyan had a hard time. Is this the true strength of these two brothers? They are far beyond my reach. Tien Shinyan was secretly shocked, and became more determined to go to Karin Tower and seek training from Karin Immortal in order to gain the qualification to enter the Temple of the Gods. Thunder and Fire Attributes. As the fight got more intense, Sun Wufei directly transformed the properties of his chi, and the chi of thunder and fire swirled all over his body. Son Goku was not to be outdone, and a trace of wind attribute power swirled around him. This is another attribute of Son Goku's body that he has discovered in the past 3 years, and he can already use it flexibly. Boom! The fists collided, and the power of thunder, fire, and wind spread out, mixed with the invisible force of space. The two figures suddenly stepped back and stood in the air. Not bad, Goku. You use attribute transformation very skillfully. Son Goku praised him, saying that Son Goku was no worse than him in transforming and applying the attributes of his own chi. Brother, I've worked really hard. Let me show you the results of my practice. On Son Goku's palm, a light blue wind blade about 1 meter long condensed. Brother, be careful. As he said this, he slashed at Sun Wukong with his sword. Condensing chi into shape, this kid is really good. Sun Wufei quickly dodged, and the wind blade slashed across his face several times. That extremely sharp feeling made Sun Wufei feel his scalp tingling. Goku, this kid, is improving so fast. In this case, I can't hide my incompetence anymore. There was a crackling sound above his right hand, and a long sword of thunder and fire appeared in Sun Wufei's hand. He originally thought that this was his original invention, but he didn't expect that Son Goku also mastered a similar trick. Then let's see who has a deeper understanding. Swish! Swish! Clang! Clank! 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 The sound of metal clashing continued to echo in the sky and around the arena, and lights of various colors shone, dazzling the onlookers. But only martial arts masters like Master Roshi can feel the terrifying power contained therein. These two brothers are simply perverts. Master Roshi couldn't help but sigh. Boss and Goku are amazing. They have mastered the transformation of the attributes of chi to such an extent. Compared to them, I am far behind. Krillin exclaimed in admiration while staring at the fierce fight between Son Goku and Sun Wufei. He also understood the transformation of the properties of chi, but was still far from reaching the level of Sun Wufei and his brother who were able to condense chi into shape. Currently, Krillin can only transform chi into metallic energy to increase its sharpness, but he is not able to condense a metallic chi blade. Transformation of key properties? What is that? Tien Shinyan looked stunned. It was the first time he heard of this term. This is what Wu Fei realized first. He said that everyone's physical attributes are different, and the energy contained in them is also different. Simply condensing the energy to attack has too low destructive power. Converting it into a force with the same attributes as the body will be much more powerful. Master Roshi said, I have learned a lot over the past few years, but I'm still not as good as the brothers Gofei and Goku. The transformation of chi. Tien Shinyan was a little dazed. He never thought that he would be so far behind others. The fighting power of Master Roshi and his companions might be lower than his, but their martial arts skills are much higher than his. Especially the transformation of chi attributes. If they really use such tricks, Tien Shinyan thinks he may not be able to win. Sun Wufei was right. Over the years, I seem to have followed the wrong master. In the sky, after Sun Wufei and Son Goku fought fiercely for a while, they stopped and breathed slightly. If we keep fighting like this, we won't be able to tell who's better even after 2 days. Goku, let's decide the winner with one move. More than half of the energy in his body has been consumed. It is estimated that Sun Wufei will not be able to defeat Son Goku unless he can use his real special moves. This guy is worthy of being the protagonist of the Dragon Ball world. He has an extremely high level of comprehension. Especially after his potential value was improved by himself one step ahead, his strength can be said to have improved by leaps and bounds, and even his control over the attributes of Chi has caught up with himself. It's impossible to hide your trump card and defeat him. Okay. I also want to see brother's special moves. I know that you must have a special move. Son Goku's eyes lit up and he nodded with a fighting spirit on his face. This kid, well, just watch out. Swish. The lightning sword in Son Goku's hand suddenly stretched out and swept towards Son Goku at an incredible speed. Oops. Son Goku let out a strange cry and quickly swung the wind attribute air sword in his hand to block. Chapter 52. Burst. Son Goku did not continue to attack with the thunder, fire, and air sword in his hand. After several consecutive attacks, he threw the thunder, fire, and air sword at Son Goku. Son Goku let out a low growl as he looked at her in bewilderment. In an instant, all the air swords exploded and turned into countless small lightning and fire swords, shooting towards Son Goku. Not good. Son Goku's face changed, and he quickly put his arms in front of him to protect himself, even retracted his legs, and resisted with all his strength. Kamehameha. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Sun Wukong activated the Kamehameha wave and was about to release it when he suddenly had an idea and turned around and blasted out in another direction. Wave. Wonderful waves. At the moment when Son Goku's Kamehameha wave flew out, Son Goku's figure also appeared from the void and also blasted out a Kamehameha wave. Two Kamehameha waves containing the power of thunder, fire, and wind collided fiercely in the air. Boom! Strong light flashed in all directions, and powerful shock waves spread out from the air in all directions. The audience on the ground all screamed in surprise. Many people's hats and scarves were blown off their heads, and even their sunglasses and hairpins were blown away. This is the impact of force that exploded in mid-air. If it happened on the ring, I'm afraid a large number of people would be blown away. Call out. A figure fell from mid-air and landed heavily on the ground outside the ring. A deep pit was smashed into the ground, affecting the entire auditorium. Several unlucky people were hit by the flying stones and passed out with blood on their heads. The person who landed was Son Goku. He still lost the Kamehameha wave duel just now. The Kamehameha wave formed by the power of thunder and fire is more destructive than the pure power of wind, and Son Goku was blown down from the air. The bright light dissipated, and Son Goku climbed out of the deep pit and smiled weakly. I still lost. Brother, you are still better than me. Son Goku also flew down from the sky at this time. Goku, you have improved very quickly, I just won by a narrow margin. It was indeed a narrow victory. If Sun Wukong had not noticed the fluctuations in the surrounding space attributes the moment the Kamehameha wave was fired, his Kamehameha wave would probably have missed. This kid Goku actually wrapped his body with the energy transformed into spatial attributes and quietly moved to the side. Then attack from behind. If he were to be hit directly by the Kamehameha wave, it would not be as simple as just a defeat. He will definitely be seriously injured. Hehe. Next time, I must become stronger and compete with my brother again. Son Goku scratched his head with a smile. The referee finally reacted at this time and announced loudly into the microphone, outside the arena. Contestant Son Goku wins. He wins the world's #1 martial arts tournament championship. Cheers broke out and everyone shouted excitedly. Contestant Son Wukong has won the world's #1 martial arts tournament twice in a row. I wonder if he will achieve another success and win the third consecutive championship in the next world's #1 martial arts tournament. Dear audience, see you in 3 years. With the referee's shout, the world's #1 martial arts tournament came to an end. Sun Wukong took the 500,000 yuan championship prize from the referee and said generously, "Today I will treat you all, let's have a good meal." Great! We can finally kill Wu Fei properly. Krillin cheered first. Ha, Wu Fei is so generous this time, we must eat to our heart's content. I know there is a restaurant nearby that tastes really good, let's go there. Yam Sha smirked. Sun Wu Fei rolled his eyes. When had he ever been stingy? Wasn't it also him who treated us last time? I'll go call Bulma. Son Goku walked towards Bulma. By the way, Grandpa's 4-star ball is still in the storage room of the venue. I'll go get it. Goku suddenly remembered something and spoke. Forget it, you just fought with Wu Fei for a long time and you've used up all your strength. I'll go get it for you. Krillin said with a smile, then turned and ran towards the venue. What's Krillin doing? Sun Wufei was talking to Bulma when he suddenly noticed Krillin running into the venue. Somehow, he suddenly had a bad feeling. Could it be that? And Bulma walked back to the group. Krillin, help me get Grandpa's 4-ball star. Take the 4-star ball? Not good. Sun Wufei's face changed and he rushed towards the venue. He was so fast that he disappeared in front of everyone in an instant. What's wrong, brother? Son Goku was stunned, and at this moment, a roar sounded from the venue. It's my brother's voice. Sun Wufei's face changed, and he rushed into the backstage of the venue with everyone else. In the meeting room, Krillin was lying on the ground, no longer breathing. Krillin is dead. Sun Wufei held Krillin's head, his eyes full of grief, and punched the ground hard. Why? How could this happen? Piccolo Daimao, why would he do it himself? Chapter 53. Originally, Sun Wufei thought that because of his appearance, Piccolo Daimao would not be released again, but he didn't expect that the time was only delayed by 1 day. What he didn't expect was that Piccolo Daimao would personally take action to snatch the Nuova Shenron beads. With Krillin's current strength, if he were to just fight against the demon warriors created by Piccolo Daimao, he would definitely not lose, let alone die. Little Daimao. Master Roshi's face suddenly changed. Gofei, you mean Piccolo Daimao? Did you see him? No, just a green figure flashed by. Sun Wufei shook his head, gritted his teeth and clenched his fists. The referee saw it, and based on his description, I can be sure that it was Piccolo Daimao. I just didn't expect him to do it himself. Damn it. That guy is too cunning, he actually launched a sneak attack. That's right. Sneak attack. Not only did Piccolo Daimao personally try to snatch the Nuova Shenron Pearl, he also launched a sneak attack on Krillin. Otherwise, with Krillin's strength, even if he couldn't defeat Piccolo Daimao, he would have no problem escaping and would definitely not be killed. I'll go after him and avenge Krillin. Son Goku clenched his fists until they made a creaking sound, roared angrily, and was about to rush out of the venue to chase after him. He was grabbed by Sun Wufei. Brother, don't stop me, I want to avenge Krillin. Don't be impulsive. Sun Wufei's eyes were also full of anger, but he still suppressed the anger in his heart and said in a deep voice, we've almost used up all the energy in our bodies in the previous match, and now is the weakest time. Piccolo Daimao is no ordinary man. If we rush up to him now, we won't be able to defeat him at all, and we will only die in vain. Then Krillin's revenge won't be avenged. Of course I must avenge myself. But not now. Sun Wufei took a deep breath and said, come with me to Karin Tower and ask Karin the Immortal for Senzu Beans. After I recover my strength, I will go and seek revenge on Piccolo Daimao. His goal is the Dragon Ball. He must be trying to summon Shenron. If we defeat him and get the Dragon Ball back, we can make a wish to Shenron and revive Krillin. Yet. Shenron. Son Goku's eyes lit up, all we have to do is make a wish to Shenron and Krillin will be resurrected. Brother, let's go find the immortal Karin now. Wait, I need a favor from Bulma. Sun Wufei was still in a state of intense anger at this moment, but he knew very well in his heart that the more times like this, the more he should not lose his composure. Please. Bulma was a little surprised, are you asking me to keep Krillin's body? That's just one aspect. Sun Gofei shook his head slightly, the Dragon Ball radar and the Nuova Shenron bead were placed together and were taken away by Piccolo Daimao. He will definitely go collect other Dragon Balls next. If we want to find him, we can only rely on the Dragon Ball radar. So, Bulma, I need you to remake one, as soon as possible. So that's how it is. Everyone's eyes showed a look of sudden realization. Indeed, the Nuova Shenron Pearl was now in Piccolo Daimao's hands. As long as you have the Dragon Ball radar, you can immediately know his location. Brother, can't we find Piccolo Daimao by relying on the perception of Chi? Son Goku was puzzled. The induction of Chi. Son Goku shook his head and said, Piccolo Daimao was formed by the evil thoughts of the gods. He can do everything the gods can do. Don't you think he won't suppress his anger? If you don't believe me, try now and see if you can sense that guy's aura. Son Goku quickly closed his eyes upon hearing this, concentrated his mind for a while, then opened his eyes dejectedly and shook his head. Just like Sun Wufei said, Piccolo Daimao has suppressed his anger. Gofei, you just said that Piccolo Daimao was formed by the evil thoughts of the gods, what's going on? Master Roshi's focus was different from Son Goku's, and he heard the hidden meaning in Sun Gofi's words. Did I say that? Sun Wufi was stunned. Yes. Everyone nodded. Well, you will know about this sooner or later anyway. Scratching his head, Sun Wufi simply made everything clear. Tenjin and Piccolo Daimao were originally one and the same, a genius warrior from Namek in a distant universe. It's just that when the spaceship landed, he was severely injured and lost his memory like Goku, and forgot his origins. During the process of Earth's growth, he was influenced by the evil deeds of Earthlings, and evil thoughts grew in his heart. Later, in order to inherit the throne of God from the previous Earth God, he expelled his evil thoughts and became Piccolo Daimao. After a pause, Sun Wufi said seriously, it can be said that Piccolo Daimao and the gods share life. If either of them dies, the other will die. Besides, Dragon Ball was created by the gods, so if the gods die, Dragon Ball will also disappear. Sun Wufi's words made everyone's face change. Gofi, if you say that, then if we kill Piccolo Daimao, won't Dragon Ball disappear? How can Krillin be resurrected then? Chapter 54. So I said defeat Piccolo Daimao, I didn't say kill him. Sun Wufi pointed to his head. Namek people have a strong recovery ability. They have a core in their head. As long as the core is not damaged, it can continue to recover. So, all we have to do is defeat him. If we really want to kill him, it won't be that easy. Everyone suddenly realized. Master Roshi looked at Sun Wufi strangely. After frowning for a while, he couldn't help but ask, Wu-Fei, how come you are so familiar with that Piccolo Daimao? When Master Roshi was young, he fought against Piccolo Daimao together with his master Wu-Taidu. Even he didn't know the origin and characteristics of Piccolo Daimao, so how did Sun Gofi know it? Brother has the ability to predict the future. He predicted all of this. Before Sun Wufi could speak, Son Goku rushed to speak. To predict the future. Master Roshi and the others were stunned, but Bulma was the first to react. Wu-Fei, did you foresee what would happen today? I did predict that Piccolo Daimao would appear, but the time changed. He showed up 2 days later. And the one who came wasn't the demon warrior he created, but he himself. Sun Wufi said in a deep voice, the future is not unchangeable. Perhaps it is because I foresaw it in advance and made preparations that things have changed. Anyway, the first thing to do now is to make a new Dragon Ball radar so that we can find Piccolo Daimao's whereabouts. At this point, Sun Gofi glanced at Master Roshi and said, Grandpa Master Roshi, please don't go looking for Dragon Ball. Wait until Goku and I recover. Kame house is also very dangerous. You should all go to Bulma's house for shelter for the time being. Master Roshi said sternly, Wu-Fei, are you sure you can handle Piccolo Daimao? That guy is extremely strong. I'm sure. Sun Wufi nodded, we have been training in the Temple of Heaven for 3 years. If it weren't for Piccolo Daimao's sneak attack, Krillin wouldn't have died with his strength. So, Grandpa Master Roshi, don't rush into a fight with Piccolo Daimao. You are not proficient in the manhwa, and if you fail, your death will be in vain. Master Roshi was shocked. He did plan to use the manhwa to seal Piccolo Daimao, but he didn't expect that Sun Wufi even knew this. I understand. We will follow your instructions and wait at Bulma's house. Wufi, Goku, the safety of this world is in your hands. Master Roshi and others boarded the Capsule Corporation's spaceship. Looking at the spaceship taking off into the sky, Son Goku blew a kiss to Bulma who was driving it, summoned his somersault cloud, and flew towards Karin Tower with Son Goku. Half a day later. On the Karin Tower. What? No senzu beans. Sun Wufi's eyes widened, how can there be nothing? Shouldn't there be a lot? How dare you say that? Immortal Karin rolled his eyes at Sun Wufi in annoyance, who comes to me to get senzu beans every 10 days or half a month. Do you think these are big radishes growing in the fields, growing in large patches? What do we do now? Sun Wufi frowned. The duel between the two brothers almost exhausted all his strength and he was even injured. It would take at least 3 or 4 days to recover properly. Now they don't have 3 or 4 days to recover. Who knows, by then Piccolo Daimao might have almost destroyed the world. Wait a day. I'll speed up the cultivation. I should be able to grow 2 seeds tomorrow. Since Sage Karin said so, Sun Wufi could only be patient and meditate with Son Goku in Karin Tower and wait. A lot of things happened on this day. More than a dozen of the masters who participated in the world's #1 martial arts tournament were killed by the demon warriors under Piccolo Daimao. Master Roshi and his companions did not go looking for Dragon Ball, but the demon warriors under Piccolo Daimao came to them. After being killed by Tien Shinyan and Yam Sha in succession, Piccolo Daimao came to the door. In order to cover everyone's retreat, Master Roshi still used Meifaha, but just as Sun Gofei said, he failed and died of exhaustion. Yam Sha, Tien Shinyan, and Jiaozi protected Bulma's family and escaped from Zidu, and met Yajirobe on the way. Fortunately, Yajirobe was here, otherwise there would be no way to bring the seriously injured Tien Shinyan and Yam Sha to Kailan. The entire western capital was destroyed, and things were much worse than in the original novel. Grandpa Master Roshi. Piccolo Daimao, I won't forgive you. Son Goku's eyes suddenly turned bloodshot. When Krillin died, he could no longer suppress the anger in his heart. It's time to settle the score with Piccolo. Sun Yufei also clenched his fists. Immortal Kallen has already grown the latest magic beans, but there are only 3 in total. Son Goku and Sun Yufei each ate one, and their strength was fully restored and their injuries healed. There was one left, so he broke it in half and gave it to Yam Sha and Tien Shinyan, healing their injuries. Bulma has also made a new Dragon Ball radar, it's time to seek revenge on Piccolo Daimao. Chapter 55. Tien Shinyan and Yam Sha originally wanted to go with the Gofei brothers, but Gofei refused. With their cultivation strength, they would be of no use even if they went there, and might even be taken hostage by Piccolo Daimao. Tien Shinyan and Yam Sha felt a little embarrassed when Sun Gofei pointed this out directly, but they also knew that it was the fact, so they could only nod and agree helplessly. Wu Fei, you must kill that guy and avenge my parents. Bulma's eyes were red. The West was destroyed and her parents were buried with the city. Although she knew that Dragon Ball could restore everything, she still couldn't avoid the grief in her heart. Don't worry, I won't let that guy go. Sun Yufei nodded heavily. Although he couldn't really destroy Piccolo Daimao's body and soul because of the gods, it would definitely be no problem for him to destroy his current physical body. Now this completely evil Piccolo Daimao has no right to continue to exist. Sitting on the somersault cloud, following the instructions of the Dragon Ball radar, the Sun Gofei brothers flew towards the royal capital. All 7 Dragon Balls are gathered together. The location of Karin Tower is very far away from the royal city. Even at the speed of the somersault cloud, it would take several hours. When they were halfway through their flight, Sun Gofei discovered that all 7 Dragon Balls had gathered together. The next moment, the entire sky suddenly turned dark. Of course he knew what this meant. Shenron. Piccolo Daimao summoned Shenron. This guy must be trying to regain his youth. Damn it, it's too late to stop it. Somersault cloud, faster, faster. Sun Yufei shouted towards the somersault cloud under him. Brother, Shenron has appeared. He was summoned by Piccolo Daimao. I know, that guy is going to wish to be restored to his peak youth, and then he will kill Shenron. Damn it. What? Son Goku panicked at what he said. What should we do? If Shenron dies, Krillin, Master Roshi and the others won't be able to be resurrected. Of course I know. But it's too late to stop it. Sun Gofei gritted his teeth, but fortunately, the god is the creator of the 7 Dragon Balls. When the time comes, we will ask the god to revive Shenron. This is the only way. Can the gods revive Shenron? Son Goku's eyes lit up. Can. Sun Yufei nodded affirmatively, but we must ensure that Piccolo Daimao cannot die. Goku, when you attack later, remember to control your strength and don't destroy that guy's entire body, especially his head. Ah. Son Goku frowned in embarrassment. If we can't kill him, then, how far should we fight him? Just beat him until he can no longer maintain his current body and can only gather all his life essence into a new egg and spit it out. Sun Yufei said, then he will explode. The Piccolo Daimao that grows back will definitely not be the same as he is now. As the 2 brothers were talking, the darkness in the sky disappeared and light returned. At the same time, a powerful evil aura rose from the direction of the royal capital. Even though they were far apart, the Sun Yufei brothers could still feel it clearly. Piccolo Daimao, that guy, has regained his youth. This aura is actually almost the same as what they have now. What's going on? Piccolo Daimao's peak state should be far inferior to our current strength. How could he become so strong all of a sudden? Sun Yufei began to feel somewhat confused. According to the original plot of Dragon Ball, Piccolo Daimao's combat power at his peak should be much weaker than that of his two brothers. But now, this gap has narrowed. Just like he personally attacked Krillin at the beginning, what went wrong? No matter what, we must kill him now. Gritting their teeth and temporarily suppressing their doubts, the Sun Wufei brothers each rode their somersault clouds and flew towards the evil aura. The royal capital, in front of the king's palace. There has been a great war here, or rather, it was a one-sided massacre. Piccolo Daimao entered the capital, forced the king to give up his throne to him by force, and announced his terror to everyone in the world through television. Now it's time for the lottery. To celebrate me, Piccolo Daimao, becoming the new king, I will draw one from all the area numbers, and I, Piccolo Daimao, will personally destroy the area that is drawn. The explosive magic light cannon I use can destroy everything in an instant without causing any pain, but the process of waiting for the results will definitely be terrifying. And I just like to see the expressions of fear on your faces. Ha 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 ha. If anyone is dissatisfied with me, Piccolo Daimao, you are welcome to come to the palace to find me. It doesn't matter how you attack me. However, anyone who comes here will die. Ha 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 ha. The triumphant laughter echoed throughout the palace. Just at this moment, a very contemptuous voice sounded, "Really? I think it's you who should be killed, Piccolo Daimao." Chapter 56. Who? Piccolo Daimao frowned and looked up at the sky. The brothers Son Goku and Son Wufei slowly fell from the air and stood on the grass outside the palace. Here comes the man who wants your life. Piccolo Daimao. Come out and die. Son Wufei shouted loudly, and his sharp energy like a blade pressed towards Piccolo Daimao in the palace. Hey! A hint of surprise flashed across Piccolo Daimao's eyes, and then he grinned, "You have some skills, but if you dare to challenge me, Piccolo Daimao, you are courting death." As he spoke, he stretched out his hand and shook it, and the glass on the ground shattered. His figure flew out and landed in front of the Son Wufei brothers. You two seem to be the brothers competing for the championship and runner-up, right? After looking Son Goku and Son Wufei up and down, Piccolo Daimao narrowed his eyes slightly. He had seen the battle between the brothers Son Goku and Son Goku. He came in person only after his demon generals reported the situation to him. When he saw it, he was shocked. He hadn't seen such a powerful martial artist for many years. He didn't expect that such a powerful martial artist would appear in this world. Given his previous state of being almost dead, he would probably be no match for Son Goku and Son Goku. So Piccolo Daimao held back and did not immediately try to snatch the Dragon Ball. Instead, he waited patiently until Krillin got the Dragon Ball and the Dragon Ball radar and was left alone, and then he launched a sneak attack. Finally, he gathered all 7 Dragon Balls and summoned Shenron, who not only returned to his peak state in his youth, but also further strengthened his powers. He is not afraid of Son Goku and Son Wufei now. You really watched our game. Son Wufei's eyes narrowed slightly. As expected, it was because of his appearance that the original course of history underwent subtle changes. Although I don't know the specific reason, Piccolo Daimao is indeed much stronger than before. Don't be careless. Brother, give him to me. I want to avenge Krillin and Master Roshi. Son Goku looked at Son Goku and said. That won't do. Son Goku shook his head, I have a part to play in avenging Krillin and Grandpa Master Roshi. And I promised Bulma that I would avenge his parents. Then let's decide by rock paper scissors. Okay. Son Goku and Son Wufei started playing rock paper scissors. Paper, scissors, hammer. Tie. Paper, scissors, hammer. Still a draw. A vein popped out on Piccolo Daimao's forehead. Then 2. 3. You two bastards. How dare you look down on me? Finally, Piccolo Daimao couldn't bear it anymore. He roared, waved his hand and a wave of light hit Son Goku and Son Goku. Swish. Swish. The two men dodged and exchanged punches in the air again. Haha, I win. Son Goku's scissors beat Son Wufei's paper. Damn. How come this kid is so good at rock paper scissors? Son Wufei was very depressed. This kid Goku seems a little silly and cute in other aspects, but I didn't expect him to be so good at rock paper scissors. Son Wufei planned for a long time, but he lost. There was no choice but to accept defeat and let Goku go first. Goku, remember what I told you, don't be too harsh. Son Wufei instructed Son Goku. Don't worry, brother. Son Goku responded, spun around and landed on the ground, staring at Piccolo Daimao. I will kill you. Really? Piccolo Daimao laughed evilly, boy, with your half-baked skills, you dare to speak so arrogantly in front of this king. There is no need for this king to personally take action against you. Ugh. Ugh. Piccolo Daimao thought for a while, then opened his mouth and spit out an egg. Click. The eggshell cracked and a tall and fat humanoid monster came out. Its body was covered with toad-like protrusions, looking very disgusting. Give you a name, Daram. Go ahead, let this kid see how powerful the demon warriors are. The monster Daram laughed grimly, boy, I will tear you to pieces. Hee hee hee. Swish. The next moment, his figure suddenly flashed and disappeared. Left. Son Wufei on the side glanced to the left. At the same time, Son Goku suddenly kicked hard to the left. Bang! With a dull thud, the monster Daram was hit on the head. His head was smashed to pieces by Son Wufei's kick. Mucus spread everywhere and pieces of meat flew everywhere. What? Piccolo Daimao's hideous smile froze on his face, and his eyes were filled with shock. One hit. Just one hit. He actually killed Daram. This warrior Daram has 40% of his combat power. He couldn't even block one move from Son Goku. Boy, you are quite capable. I really underestimated you. Piccolo Daimao stared at Son Goku with a gloomy expression, but if you mess with me, Piccolo Daimao, you will die no matter how powerful you are. I won't die until I completely destroy you. Anger and hatred welled up in Son Goku's eyes. He thought of the tragic deaths of Krillin and Master Roshi, and his fists clenched so hard that they made a crackling sound. You want to destroy me? Ha ha ha. Piccolo Daimao grinned, you are so arrogant. You don't seem to realize how terrifying I am. Then I will let you see for yourself. It only takes me 5 seconds to kill you. Chapter 56. Who? Piccolo Daimao frowned and looked up at the sky. The brothers Son Goku and Son Wufei slowly fell from the air and stood on the grass outside the palace. Here comes the man who wants your life. Piccolo Daimao. Come out and die. Son Wufei shouted loudly, and his sharp energy like a blade pressed towards Piccolo Daimao in the palace. Hey! A hint of surprise flashed across Piccolo Daimao's eyes, and then he grinned, you have some skills, but if you dare to challenge me, Piccolo Daimao, you are courting death. As he spoke, he stretched out his hand and shook it, and the glass on the ground shattered. His figure flew out and landed in front of the Son Wufei brothers. You two seem to be the brothers competing for the championship and runner-up, right? After looking Son Goku and Son Wufei up and down, Piccolo Daimao narrowed his eyes slightly. He had seen the battle between the brothers Son Goku and Son Goku. He came in person only after his demon generals reported the situation to him. When he saw it, he was shocked. He hadn't seen such a powerful martial artist for many years. He didn't expect that such a powerful martial artist would appear in this world. Given his previous state of being almost dead, he would probably be no match for Son Wufei and Son Goku. So Piccolo Daimao held back and did not immediately try to snatch the Dragon Ball. Instead, he waited patiently until Krillin got the Dragon Ball and the Dragon Ball radar and was left alone, and then he launched a sneak attack. Finally, he gathered all 7 Dragon Balls and summoned Shenron, who not only returned to his peak state in his youth, but also further strengthened his powers. He is not afraid of Son Goku and Son Wufei now. You really watched our game. Son Wufei's eyes narrowed slightly. As expected, it was because of his appearance that the original course of history underwent subtle changes. Although I don't know the specific reason, Piccolo Daimao is indeed much stronger than before. Don't be careless. Brother, give him to me. I want to avenge Krillin and Master Roshi. Son Goku looked at Son Wufei and said. That won't do. Son Wufei shook his head, I have a part to play in avenging Krillin and Grandpa Master Roshi. And I promised Bulma that I would avenge his parents. Then let's decide by rock paper scissors. Okay. Son Goku and Son Wufei started playing rock paper scissors. Paper, scissors, hammer. Tie. Paper, scissors, hammer. Still a draw. A vein popped out on Piccolo Daimao's forehead. Then 2. 3. You two bastards. How dare you look down on me? Finally, Piccolo Daimao couldn't bear it anymore. He roared, waved his hand and a wave of light hit Son Goku and Son Goku. Swish! Swish! The two men dodged and exchanged punches in the air again. Haha, I win! Son Goku's scissors beat Son Wufi's paper. Damn! How come this kid is so good at rock paper scissors? Son Wufi was very depressed. This kid Goku seems a little silly and cute in other aspects, but I didn't expect him to be so good at rock paper scissors. Son Wufi planned for a long time, but he lost. There was no choice but to accept defeat and let Goku go first. Goku, remember what I told you, don't be too harsh. Son Wufi instructed Son Goku. Don't worry, brother. Son Goku responded, spun around and landed on the ground, staring at Piccolo Daimao. I will kill you. Really? Piccolo Daimao laughed evilly. Boy, with your half-baked skills, you dare to speak so arrogantly in front of this king. There is no need for this king to personally take action against you. Ugh. Ugh. Piccolo Daimao thought for a while, then opened his mouth and spit out an egg. Click. The eggshell cracked and a tall and fat humanoid monster came out. Its body was covered with toad-like protrusions, looking very disgusting. Give you a name, Daram. Go ahead, let this kid see how powerful the demon warriors are. The monster Daram laughed grimly. Boy, I will tear you to pieces. Hee hee hee. Swish. The next moment, his figure suddenly flashed and disappeared. Left. Son Wufi on the side glanced to the left. At the same time, Son Goku suddenly kicked hard to the left. Bang! With a dull thud, the monster Daram was hit on the head. His head was smashed to pieces by Son Wufi's kick. Mucus spread everywhere and pieces of meat flew everywhere. What? Piccolo Daimao's hideous smile froze on his face, and his eyes were filled with shock. One hit. Just one hit. He actually killed Daram. This warrior Daram has 40% of his combat power. He couldn't even block one move from Son Goku. Boy, you are quite capable. I really underestimated you. Piccolo Daimao stared at Son Goku with a gloomy expression, but if you mess with me, Piccolo Daimao, you will die no matter how powerful you are. I won't die until I completely destroy you. Anger and hatred welled up in Son Goku's eyes. He thought of the tragic deaths of Krillin and Master Roshi, and his fists clenched so hard that they made a crackling sound. You want to destroy me? Ha ha ha. Piccolo Daimao grinned, you are so arrogant. You don't seem to realize how terrifying I am. Then I will let you see for yourself. It only takes me 5 seconds to kill you. Chapter 58. Ah! Son Goku clenched his fists in front of him and roared, with terrible energy surging out of his body. But the next moment, it was all retracted into the body. Chi can burst out, but it cannot dissipate in vain. Doing so will be of no help in combat, other than appearing cool and wasting it. It may also allow the opponent to be prepared. This is what Son Goku repeatedly told him, and it turns out that what Son Goku said was absolutely right. Therefore, Son Goku has now become accustomed to this method of concentrating the power within his body cells after exploding, in order to achieve maximum combat effectiveness. Bring it on! Son Goku's eyes were filled with fighting spirit, and he assumed a full-scale attack stance. Snort! Piccolo Daimao snorted coldly, and suddenly waved his hand violently. A violent impact force suddenly fanned out, raising a large cloud of dust and hitting Son Goku. Then, using the cover of smoke and dust, he rushed forward and grabbed Son Goku with one claw. Although his eyes were obscured by the smoke, Son Goku had already sensed the flow of Piccolo Daimao's ki and jumped up to avoid it. Unexpectedly, Piccolo Daimao's movements suddenly sped up, he turned quickly to catch up, and punched Son Goku hard on the lower back. Bang! Son Goku was hit hard on the ground, and the roar was accompanied by the rubble that scattered violently, and a large circular pit appeared at the scene. There is a bottomless hole in the center of the pit. Why? Son Wufi sighed. No matter what he said, Goku just couldn't change his bad habits. Even though you are clearly stronger than your opponent, you still have to deal with him first and then fight back after being beaten. It seems that I have to take action myself and end this battle as soon as possible to avoid any further complications. Ha 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 ha. This kid is broken into pieces. No one in this world can defeat me, Piccolo Daimao. Ha ha ha. Piccolo Daimao laughed triumphantly. In the palace, the king and several guard commanders gathered at the window, staring blankly at the scene outside. despair written all over their faces. It's over. The world is over. It's all over. The world will be destroyed. Piccolo Daimao turned his gaze to Sun Wufiai. Boy, your brother is dead. Now, it's your turn. Die? Are you kidding me? With your attack power, you think you can kill Goku? Sun Wufiai sneered disdainfully. Sense it carefully, Goku's energy hasn't weakened at all. What? Piccolo Daimao was surprised. Just at this moment. Kamehameha, what's that sound? Piccolo Daimao turned his head as if he saw a ghost. Son Goku's figure suddenly rose into the sky from the deep hole of the pit. Bo! The Kamehameha wave burst out from Son Goku and blasted towards Piccolo Daimao. You want to use this trick against me? It's useless. Piccolo Daimao roared, throwing his hands towards the Kamehameha wave. Ahaha! Son Goku suddenly raised his hands up, then pressed down, and the light wave of the Kamehameha wave was about to hit Piccolo Daimao's palm, but it suddenly turned, folded upwards, and then went around behind Piccolo Daimao. With a U-turn, he hit Piccolo Daimao hard on the back of his neck. Ah! Piccolo Daimao screamed and fell to the ground, his eyes bulging like a dead fish, his mouth wide open, and his tongue sticking out. Hee, my Kamehameha wave doesn't just go straight forward. How about it, is this move comfortable? Son Goku grinned. Sun Wufiai, however, frowned. Just now, Son Goku clearly had the opportunity to seriously injure Piccolo Daimao directly. As long as the power of the Kamehameha wave was further strengthened and the wind attribute change of chi was added, Piccolo would definitely be seriously injured. But Son Goku just used a normal Kamehameha wave. This kid, how long does he plan to drag this battle out? No, I can't help it. Swish! Sun Wukong flew. His figure flashed and appeared directly behind Piccolo Daimao. You! Piccolo Daimao was startled, and before he could turn around and react, he was punched hard on the back. This punch of Son Goku is different from Son Goku's previous attacks. This is a full-strength punch containing the power of thunder and fire. If a battle can be resolved in one go, it will never be dragged on to a second time. This is Sun Wufiai's fighting principle. He wouldn't deliberately hide his strength like Son Goku. Wow! Piccolo Daimao screamed and was hit directly from the ground into the air. Brother, this is my battle. Shut up. I've given you a chance for half a day, and you're still playing around. This is a battle of revenge, not for you to play around with. Sun Wufiai scolded. Next, I will end this battle in one move. Sun Wufiai's hands were filled with the power of thunder and lightning. Powerful energy condensed from his body and, after undergoing a tribute transformation, turned into terrifying thunder and fire that gathered between his palms. The next moment, his figure rushed towards the sky. I will finish you off with this punch. Piccolo Daimao suffered a series of heavy blows. Just as he stabilized his body in the air, Sun Wufiai rushed towards him at a high speed. Chapter 59. After suffering heavy blows one after another, Piccolo Daimao had no energy left to dodge Sun Wufiai's attacks. You can only fight hard. Piccolo Daimao stretched his hands forward and concentrated all his strength on his palms. I can block it back. You can't stop it. The power of thunder and fire further increased, as if all the light around was attracted by this punch. Behind Sun Wufiai, the shadow of a giant ape appeared faintly. This. Under Piccolo Daimao's horrified gaze, Sun Wufiai's punch hit his palm hard. The terrifying destructive force directly tore apart all the power defenses on his palm. The power of thunder and fire caused Piccolo Daimao's entire body to tremble violently and become paralyzed. And Son Goku's fist hit his chest without stopping. Phew! A muffled sound. Piccolo Daimao's chest was pierced directly, leaving a big hole, and his entire body was almost torn in half. There were flashes of lightning all over his body, and except for the life core in his head, everything else was basically destroyed by the power of thunder and fire. No matter how strong the Namex vitality is, he does not have the extra strength to repair his damaged body at this moment. Sun Wufiai directly crawled out from the big hole in Piccolo Daimao's chest, then turned around in the air and floated still. No, I didn't expect that someone could defeat me, Piccolo Daimao. Blood dripped from the corners of Piccolo Daimao's mouth. He was covered in cold sweat, and his eyes were bulging due to congestion. Turning his head with difficulty, Piccolo Daimao glanced at Sun Wufiai, and a final grim smile appeared on his face. You are indeed very powerful, but the demon race will not be wiped out. My son will avenge me. Gathering all the remaining life essence in his body, along with the core of his brain, Piccolo Daimao opened his mouth and spat out an egg far into the distance. The next moment, his body suddenly exploded. The strong shock waves spread in all directions, but were all blocked by Sun Wuofei. The evil Piccolo Daimao has finally died. But fortunately, his life core has been preserved and will form a new generation of Piccolo. The life of the gods can continue. Things were finally over. Although the process was a little different, it basically went according to Sun Wuofei's expectations. Taking a deep breath, Sun Wuofei descended from the sky. Brother, you are so cunning. You said you would be my opponent, but you killed me. Son Goku looked at Sun Wuofei with an accusing look and shouted in dissatisfaction. I've let you fight for quite some time, but it's you who didn't show your true ability. Can you blame me? Sun Wuofei rolled his eyes. According to the battle time calculation, mine is much shorter than yours. That's true, but... Son Goku pouted, still very unhappy. Alright, this evil Piccolo Daimao has been destroyed, and Krillin and the others have been avenged. Sun Wuofei looked at the direction where the egg Piccolo Daimao spit out flew and whispered, in that egg, Piccolo Daimao's life essence and his life core are condensed. His life will continue in his descendants, and the life connection between the gods and Piccolo will also continue. There will be no danger. Son Goku nodded as if he understood, then suddenly seemed to remember something and asked anxiously, Brother, what about Shenron? Is Shenron really dead? I don't know either. I have to ask the gods. Sun Wuofei shrugged, he didn't know whether Piccolo Daimao killed Shenron or not. According to the original plot, he should have been killed, but even Piccolo Daimao's strength has been greatly improved, so who knows if Shenron will still die like before. Let's go to the Temple of Heaven. Just as the Sun Wuofei brothers were about to leave, the king and his guards suddenly rushed out of the palace and shouted at them, please wait. Wait. The Sun Wuofei brothers stopped flying and flew in front of the king. What is it? Well, two little heroes, could you please leave your names? You defeated Piccolo Daimao and saved the world. This great achievement should be known to the whole world. You should be rewarded. No need. Son Goku said. Well, that makes sense. My name is Son Gofei, and this is my brother Son Goku. Sun Wuofei interrupted Son Goku, there is no need for rewards. We have more important things to do now. Of course, if His Majesty the King really feels bad, you can send the rewards to Kame House. Let's go Goku, said Son Goku, and without waiting for a reply from the king or the guards, he and Son Goku took off into the air, calling upon their somersault clouds, and flew off in the direction of the Celestial Palace. Son Goku. The king stared blankly at the two brothers Sun Wuofei flying away on the cloud, then suddenly turned around and shouted to the chief guard, quick, inform everyone and announce the feat of the brothers Son Goku and Son Goku to the whole world. Also, find the whereabouts of Kame Sensei house. Anyone who provides information will be rewarded handsomely. Yes, Your Majesty. Chapter 60. The terrorist threat of Piccolo Daimao was lifted, and the two young heroes, Son Goku and Son Goku, defeated Piccolo Daimao and saved the world. The news spread throughout the world at the fastest speed. The whole world cheered and celebrated. At the same time, he was also looking for the whereabouts of Kame Sama's house. After all, His Majesty the King has awarded a prize of 200,000 yuan. Tian Xinyan, Yamsha and the others have returned to Kame House, and after Son Goku and Son Goku arrived at Karin Tower, they used the flying technique to fly directly to the Temple of the Gods. I didn't expect that you two brothers would actually defeat Piccolo Daimao. The god looked at Son Goku and Sun Wuofei with emotion. When these two brothers were training in the Temple of Heaven, they surprised him time and time again. He never expected that one day they would really be able to save the world. God, was Shenron killed by Piccolo Daimao? Son Gofei didn't want to hear the compliments, as he was concerned about the problem of the 7 Dragon Balls. Yes, Shenron is indeed dead. The god took out the Shenron model used to make the 7 Dragon Balls, which was already broken into pieces. Piccolo Daimao, that guy, really tried to kill Shenron after his wish came true. God, please revive Shenron. I need to borrow Shenron's power to revive my dead companions and innocent people. Sun Wuofei bowed to the gods and said earnestly. He knew very well that only the gods could revive Shenron. Is this all you ask? The god looked at Sun Wuofei, then at Son Goku. He had originally planned to give both of them a reward. Only this. Son Goku nodded. That's right, this is what we want most. Sun Wufei also nodded, and after a pause, he smiled evilly, of course, if you have any other rewards, God, we will be happy to accept them, hehe. You are much more cunning than your brother. The God of Heaven looked at Sun Wufei with some amusement. All right, I will revive Shenron this time, and let Shenron help revive your friends and those innocent people. But, the God held up a finger and said, this is just the first time. It won't happen again. Shenron's power is external after all. When you encounter a problem, you still have to use your own strength to solve it first. I don't want you to think of asking Shenron for help whenever you run into trouble in the future. Sun Gofei smiled, of course, we didn't think of relying on Shenron for everything. But bringing someone back to life is something that only Shenron can do. Goku and I can use our power to destroy and kill enemies, but not to save people. This should involve special rules and powers. Hey! The god looked at Sun Wufei with some surprise. You actually know the power of rules. Is there really a rule force? Sun Gofei was just saying it casually, but from what the god said, it seems that the power of rules really exists in this Dragon Ball world. And the gods know it. Of course. The god nodded and said, the power of rules, this is the power of God. Can you tell us about it in detail? Son Goku became interested and his eyes lit up. Well, it's hard to explain it in a few words. The god shook his head. Resurrect Shenron first. Mr. Popo, please glue Shenron. Yes, God. Mr. Popo responded and glued the shattered Shenron model back together piece by piece. Then a strange light appeared above the god's finger and shone on the Shenron model. The entire Shenron model began to emit a dazzling brilliance. The next moment, a strong light burst out from the Shenron model and rushed towards the underworld. Well, Shenron has gone back to Dragon Ball. The god said, originally, Dragon Ball would remain in stone for a year, but now the situation is special, so I have removed the time limit, and it can now fulfill its wish immediately. Very good. Sun Wufei and Son Goku high-fived each other. God, we want to see Krillin and Master Roshi resurrected with our own eyes. We will come back later to ask you for advice on the power of rules. Pulling Son Goku up, he flew into the air, heading towards the underworld. These two guys. The god shook his head in amusement, and in his heart, he once again thought of Sun Wufei's prediction about the Saiyan invasion. I hope that before that, they can really cultivate to be strong enough to save the world again. In the open space in front of Turtle House, Bulma and the others stared in shock as they watched Shenron's giant body emerge from the Dragon Ball. Shenron! It's really Shenron! I suddenly saw light outside, and I was wondering. Bulma looked at Shenron excitedly, so Shenron, you are really not dead? No, I was indeed killed by Piccolo Daimao. Shenron shook his head slightly. It was Son Goku and Son Goku who asked the gods to revive me. Gofei and Goku, asking the gods for help? What the hell is going on? Just as Bulma and the others were being surprised, two somersault clouds quickly flew over from the horizon. It's Son Goku and Son Wufei. Chapter 61. Haha, Shenron is resurrected. Jumping down from the somersault cloud, Son Goku looked at the huge Shenron with excitement on his face. Son Goku, thank you for your plea for letting me be resurrected. Shenron thanked the Son Goku brothers. This is the first time it has thanked humans. You are welcome. Son Wufei waved his hand and said, Shenron, you should be aware of our wishes, right? It's clear. It's to revive everyone killed by Piccolo Daimao, right? That's easy. Shenron said, and was about to use his divine power to fulfill the wish. Wait, Shenron, the wish needs to be changed a little bit. Sun Wufei stopped Shenron and said, change it to restore this world to the state before Piccolo Daimao appeared, including the destroyed buildings and dead people, except for the extremely vicious villains. Is that your wish? No problem. Shenron agreed immediately. Sun Wufei's change to his wish was mainly to revive the city destroyed by Piccolo Daimao along with the dead people. Because this time, West City was also destroyed, Capsule Corporation and Bulma's parents were destroyed along with West City. If only people were resurrected, the losses would still be quite huge. As smart as Bulma was, she immediately understood Sun Wufei's intention and looked at Sun Wufei with gratitude in her eyes. Wufei, thank you so much. Why are you being so polite? Your business is my business. Sun Wufei chuckled, but his eyes looked behind Bulma. There, 4 cryo-capsule coffins were neatly arranged, used to preserve the bodies of Krillin and Master Roshi. Shenron's eyes began to glow, and the cryo-capsule coffin began to move. The lid of the coffin opened, and Krillin and Master Roshi sat up from inside with a dazed look on their faces. Resurrected. Krillin and Master Roshi are resurrected. Mom and Dad. My mom and dad must have resurrected too. I have to go back to see them right away. In her joy, Bulma suddenly reacted, yelled, took out a capsule, opened it, conjured up a jet, and was about to jump in. Let me take you there. The somersault cloud is faster than an airplane. Sun Wufei said as he picked up Bulma and jumped onto the somersault cloud. I can't do somersaults, Strangely, this time, Bulma did not fall off the cloud. Bulma let go of Sun Wufei's hand in surprise and wanted to take a closer look. However, as soon as she let go, her feet were empty and she almost fell through the somersault cloud. Fortunately, Sun Wufei grabbed me and I felt grounded again. Strangeness. Bulma was surprised. After trying it twice again, she was sure that only by touching Sun Wufei could she sit safely on the somersault cloud. Krillin, Grandpa Master Roshi, congratulations on your survival. I will take Bulma to the western capital to find her parents. Goku, Krillin, see you at the Celestial Temple. As he spoke, he soared into the sky on his somersault cloud and flew towards the western capital. The western capital that was destroyed by Piccolo Daimao has indeed been restored. After Bulma landed in the intact Capsule Corporation's home, she rushed to her parents with tears in her eyes and threw herself into their arms. Naturally, there was a long period of greetings and hugging each other and crying and laughing. After staying at Bulma's house for a day and being entertained, Sun Wufei said goodbye and left, flying towards the Temple of the Gods. He was going to ask the gods for advice on the power of rules. The power of rules is a force completely different from Qi. According to the gods, this is the power of God. Sun Wufei was very curious about this. If possible, he also wants to control this power. On the square of the Temple of Heaven. Call out. Son Goku landed, only to find that Son Goku and Krillin had already arrived at the Temple of Heaven. Besides the two of them, Tien Shinyan, Yamcha and Gyoza also came. You guys came pretty fast. Sun Wufei walked towards the crowd with a smile. Wow, boss. Krillin rushed towards Sun Wufei with tears in his eyes and hugged him. Boss, thank you for resurrecting me. Wuha. Sun Wufei smiled. Krillin, I am your boss. It is only natural for a boss to take care of his younger brother. Why are you thanking me? It's too polite. Boss, it's all because I'm useless and not strong enough, otherwise Dragon Ball wouldn't have been snatched away by Piccolo Daimao. Krillin wiped the tears from the corners of his eyes, looking ashamed. It was a deliberate plan, but that guy attacked by surprise again. You can't be blamed. Sun Wufei shook his head. But Krillin, we must strengthen our physical training in the future. Even if we don't draw out the energy in our bodies, we must make our bodies strong enough so that we can withstand any unexpected situations. Sun Wufei said, looking at Son Goku who was snickering on the side, and glared at him, don't laugh, I'm talking to you too. It's not like I did anything. Son Goku muttered. You haven't done anything yet? I've told you many times that when dealing with an enemy, no matter how strong or weak the opponent is, you must not be careless. You always like to hide your strength and fight with others. This is your biggest shortcoming. What if someone attacks us by surprise and we capsize in the gutter? Chapter 62. No, that won't happen. How do you know it's impossible? Sun Wufei stared at Son Goku very seriously. Goku, I'm telling you again, don't be careless about this. Don't underestimate your enemy's strength. He may have hidden some killer moves that can threaten you. If you are careless at the beginning and don't use your full strength, you might be killed by a sneak attack. By then, you won't even have the chance to use your full strength. Son Goku agreed verbally, but he still didn't care. Sun Wufei also noticed this and could only sigh helplessly. It is easy to change the country but difficult to change one's nature. Forget it, I should make a good training plan and temper my body more. This way, even if I don't use my full strength, I won't be crippled by a sneak attack. Tien Shinyan, Yamcha, have you seen the gods? The gods are not in front of me, only Mr. Popo is there. Yes, I have met him. The gods have agreed to let us practice in the Temple of the Gods. Tian Xinyan nodded. I was really shocked when I heard it, the god looks exactly like Piccolo Daimao. Yam Sha sighed, if you hadn't said that Tenshin and Piccolo Daimao were originally separate, I would have just rushed up. The gods are very strong, stronger than the current Piccolo Daimao. If you practice with the gods, you will definitely make great progress. Sun Wufei said, but before that, you have to pass Mr. Popo's test and training first. Come on, everyone. With a wicked grin, Son Goku, and Krillin walked towards the Temple of Heaven. Boss, where are we going now? Krillin blinked and asked curiously. Go to the gods and ask for advice on the power of rules. The god is in the innermost room of the Temple of the Gods. Seeing Sun Wufei and the other two come in, he pointed to the 3 seats in front of him and said, Are you here? Take a seat. It was obvious that the gods had known they were coming. Wufei, the power of rules is an ability that only gods can master. Even if mortals understand it, they cannot master it. Instead, it may disrupt their original practice. Are you sure you want to listen? The god's gaze fell on Sun Wufei with a serious expression. It was Sun Gofei who originally proposed to explain the power of rules to the 3 of them, and Sun Goku and Krillin just followed Sun Gofei to listen. Of course we are sure. Whether we can master it depends on our own abilities. Sun Wufei nodded without hesitation, God, please speak. Hey, wait, boss, what is the power of rules? Krillin looked at Sun Wufei in confusion. This was the first time he had heard this word. It's the ability of the gods to create Shenron, and Shenron to fulfill wishes. Sun Wufei said, in other words, the ability to create or destroy the world. God wants to teach us this. Krillin's eyes lit up. It's not teaching, it's explaining. Sun Wufei shook his head. This ability cannot be taught. We can only rely on our own understanding. As for whether we have the opportunity and ability to understand it, it depends on ourselves. I see. Krillin was a little disappointed, but soon became excited again. Even if he couldn't understand it in the end, being able to listen to the gods explain the principles of this power of rules would be a precious experience, right? The power of rules is the power possessed by God. It is the power that is in harmony with the laws of nature. The god began to tell the story. Sun Wufei and the other 2 listened attentively, but gradually a thoughtful look appeared on their faces. After the god finished explaining all the principles of the power of rules, Krillin suddenly nudged Sun Wufei in a daze. Boss, how come the power of rules that the gods talked about is very similar to the attribute transformation of Chi that you talked about? Yes, I think it's very similar too. It seems the principle is the same. It's just more comprehensive. Son Goku also nodded and said with certainty. Transformation of the properties of Chi? What transformation of the properties of Chi? Have you come into contact with the power of rules? Now it was the god's turn to be shocked. He originally thought that after listening to him explain the principles of the power of rules, Sun Wufei and the other 2 would be frustrated, and then give up their curiosity about this undetectable power and concentrate on cultivating their bodies. But unexpectedly, the 3 of them looked as if they had heard something. I don't know if this is called the power of rules. A ball of wind attribute power appeared on Krillin's palm, which also contained a trace of water attribute power. This is what the elder taught us. Everyone's body has different properties, and the Chi that is cultivated also has different properties. This is the change in the properties of Chi. I feel that it is very similar to the power of rules that you mentioned, Lord God. The god stood up suddenly, staring with wide eyes at the dual attribute power of Feng Shui in Krillin's palm. This is the power of rules. The god stretched out his hand and sensed it. His eyes became more and more horrified. He looked at Sun Wufei and the other 2 in disbelief. You have actually comprehended the power of rules. This is incredible. Chapter 63. Is this the power of rules? Sun Wufei frowned slightly, but it feels so far away from the power of rules. The transformation of key properties can indeed increase the destructive power a lot, but in Sun Wufei's opinion, this is at most a martial arts practice. It is really far from his imagination of being able to control everything with a wave of his hand and dominate the power of rules for the birth and death of all things. The power of rules can be strong or weak. What you are doing can be considered as the application of the power of rules, but the level is not high enough. The god said, looking at Sun Wufei as if he were a monster. Wufei, did you really realize this on your own? Yes. Sun Wufei nodded. God, if this transformation of the properties of Qi is really what you call the power of rules, then it is not difficult to master it. He pointed at Son Goku and Krillin. Look, Goku and Krillin have mastered it too. You said that only God can control this kind of power, you are lying. The god was annoyed. When did I lie? You are too abnormal. You can even think of such a method to master the power of rules. Indeed, before this, the gods had always believed that the power of rules was a power that only gods could control. Whether it was the various attributes of nature, time, space, or survival and destruction, they were all controlled by the power of rules, and only gods could control this power. Even the Namek people who can create Dragon Balls need to use the created Dragon Balls to summon Shenron to exert the power of rules. He never thought that the Qi of mortals could be transformed into the power of rules of different attributes. This kid Sun Wufei, should we say that he is eccentric or gifted? He actually accidentally figured out how mortals could control the power of rules. If this continues, doesn't it mean that mortals can also reach the realm of God through this method? Wufei, how many people know this method of yours? The god looked at Sun Wufei seriously and asked. How many people? Sun Gofei scratched his head. Well, besides us, Grandpa Master Rashi, Yamsha, Tian Xinyan, and Jiaozi all know. Is there anyone else? The god asked. Others? No more. The god's expression was not right, and Sun Wufei was a little confused. What's wrong? Is there a problem? That's not bad. Not many people know about it. The god heaved a sigh of relief and said to Sun Wufei very seriously, Wufei, your method of transforming the properties of Qi must not continue to spread. Why? Sun Wufei was a little puzzled. This was a good way to enhance combat effectiveness. Master Rashi had already said that it was enough to establish a new school. Why couldn't it be spread and promoted? Because the gods won't allow it. The god's expression was more serious than ever before. The power of rules is a power that only God can control, and only God is qualified to possess. It has always been like this before. It has become an iron rule. If a few people break the rules, the gods may not care, but if such people increase in large numbers, it will inevitably threaten the gods' rule over the world. If you were the gods, would you allow this to happen? Once this becomes a reality, you will face a thorough cleansing from the gods. Sun Wufei was suddenly shocked. He had never thought about what the god said. Yes. This is the Dragon Ball world. In addition to mortals, there are gods. The Earth God is only the lowest level of God. Above him there are King Kai, Great King Kai, Supreme Kai, gods of destruction, Angel, Grand Priest, and even Xeno. With Sion's ability to grow, as long as they continue to practice like this, one day they will be able to surpass Supreme Kai and gods of destruction, or even the 12 angels. But Grand Priest and Xeno. Unless you reach an extraordinary level, you will not be able to contend with it at all. The gods that the gods mentioned must include Xeno and Grand Priest. With his current strength, provoking the gods. He really didn't even know how he died. Cold sweat suddenly broke out from Sun Wufei's forehead and flowed down his cheeks. Even my back felt a chill. He was only thinking about how to improve his combat effectiveness and didn't think so deeply at all. Now after hearing the words of the gods, I felt as if my soul was suddenly scared to death. The gods will not allow mortals to threaten their rule. Once such signs appear and they are noticed, they will be ruthlessly nipped in the bud. God, I understand. Thank you for your reminder. Sun Wufei bowed solemnly to the gods. This was valuable advice that saved his life. Krillin also reacted. After a quick thought, he realized the seriousness of the situation and broke out in a cold sweat. Only Son Goku was still a little confused, as if he didn't understand why the gods prohibited mortals from mastering the transformation of the attributes of Qi. Goku, you have to listen carefully. From now on, without my permission, you are not allowed to tell anyone the method of transforming the properties of your Qi. You are not allowed to show off to others. Do you understand? Chapter 64. After some effort, Son Goku finally understood the seriousness of the matter, and he breathed a sigh of relief. I was secretly glad. Fortunately, he learned this news from the mouth of the god, otherwise if he really ignorantly transformed and promoted the properties of Qi, he would be wiped out at any time. There is no time to wait for the day when you grow up. In addition to the fear and relief in my heart, a feeling of ecstasy also emerged. It turns out that the transformation of Qi attributes is a kind of rule power. Then as long as we continue to comprehend as planned, and combine it with the principles of rule power mentioned by the gods, mastering a higher level of rule power will not be an unattainable dream. I seem to have discovered something extraordinary. I really want to laugh out loud 3 times. Krillin, Goku, and I are going to Bulma's house to train, are you coming? Coming out of the god's room, Son Goku looked at Krillin and asked. Bulma's. Krillin was stunned, what can she practice at home? I asked Bulma to help me build a gravity chamber so I can try higher gravity. Son Goku asked, how about it? Want to come together? Well. After thinking about it, Krillin shook his head and said, I'd better not go for the time being. My current strength is still far behind you and Goku, boss. I haven't yet fully mastered some of Mr. Popo's training. I will stay in the Temple of the Gods and practice for a few more days. When I feel I have practiced enough, I will go to Bulma's house to find you. There was nothing wrong with Krillin's choice. Son Goku nodded and said nothing more. After saying hello to Mr. Popo, Tien Shinyan, and the others, he and Son Goku took off into the air and flew towards the underworld. After arriving at Bulma's house, they naturally had a big meal first, and then went to the specially built gravity room accompanied by Bulma and her parents. This is the gravity room built according to your requirements. Bulma pointed to the control console in the middle of the gravity room and said to Son Goku, the gravity here can be adjusted to a maximum of 100 times. You and Goku must be careful when you practice. Don't adjust the gravity to the maximum all at once. 100 times gravity is no joke, it can kill people. Looking at the spacious gravity room, Son Goku nodded with satisfaction. Bulma was really reliable. He only proposed an idea, and Bulma realized the gravity room completely. It is hard to find such a virtuous wife even with a lantern. Thanks, Bulma. This is what I promised you, no need to be polite. And it's not just my achievement, my father also helped a lot. Thank you, uncle. Son Goku also thanked Bulma's father, Dr. Briefs. Haha, you're welcome, Goku boy. We also want to thank you for defeating Piccolo Daimao and asking Shenron to revive us. Dr. Briefs smiled, turned around and walked out the door tactfully. Oh, I suddenly remembered that I have something else to deal with. I won't accompany you anymore. I'm leaving first. At the same time, he pulled Son Goku away. Goku, I'm going to show you something good, come on. In the gravity room, only Son Goku and Bulma were left. When their eyes met, Son Goku suddenly felt a little awkward and didn't know what to say. Bulma was the first to break the silence. Wu Fei, you asked me to wait for you for 4 years, and I kept my promise. But now it's been 3 years, why haven't you grown much taller? Well, our scions only grow rapidly in height after they turn 16. In another year, I will be taller. Son Goku shrugged and said that he also wanted to grow up quickly. Now he couldn't do many things with his childish body. But there's nothing I can do. Scion has this physique, he can't ask Shenron for help in growing up faster, right? Scion. Bulma was surprised, you are not from Earth. Don't you know? Son Goku was stunned for a moment, then reacted, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, Goku and I are not from Earth, we are scions who were sent to Earth from the distant planet Vegeta. Son Goku repeated to Bulma what he had said to Karin, including his fabricated ability to predict the future. So that's how it is. Bulma nodded in understanding. Fortunately, neither you nor Goku have the idea of destroying the Earth, otherwise the Earth would be in danger. Even Piccolo Daimao can't beat Son Goku and Son Goku, so there's no hope for the others. If these two brothers had any evil thoughts, I'm afraid no one could stop them. Speaking of Piccolo Daimao, Bulma suddenly thought of something. Wait, did you foresee that Piccolo Daimao would appear? So you also knew that he would destroy Zidou? Why didn't you tell me in advance? Bulma stared at Son Goku fiercely, a dangerous aura rising from her. I foresaw Piccolo Daimao's appearance, but I didn't foresee his destruction of the western capital. Son Goku quickly explained, the future I foresaw is not certain, it can be changed, it can only be used as a reference. Chapter 65. Really? Bulma looked at Son Goku with some doubt. It's absolutely true. I guarantee it with my character. Son Goku nodded righteously. Okay then, I'll believe you this time. Bulma's eyes relaxed. I'll wait for you for another year. If you still don't grow taller and look like a little kid after a year, you can't blame me for not keeping my promise to find a handsome guy, hehe. Having said that, he ran out of the gravity room laughing. This girl. Sun Wufei shook his head in amusement, but a hint of loving tenderness flashed in his eyes. Bulma has always liked handsome guys, just like the two brothers like fighting, it's in their nature. But for him, Bulma kept her promise and didn't mess with any handsome guys in the past 3 years, always suppressing her nature. This made Sun Wufei very moved. It also strengthened his belief that he must marry Bulma. As for Vegeta. Sorry man, I met Bulma first this time, you should find someone else. The days at Bulma's house were fulfilling and happy. He trained hard in the gravity room for 8 hours every day without fail, and spent the rest of the time eating, drinking and having fun with Bulma. Soon, a year passed. Sun Wufei and Son Goku have adapted to 20 times the gravity, and their combat effectiveness has been greatly improved. Moreover, the two brothers also gained a deeper understanding of the transformation of the properties of Qi. Actually, it was Son Goku who discovered this first. Son Goku discovered that the special energy formed after the transformation of Qi can be combined with the physical body. Although it will consume a lot of Qi, it can make the body more resilient and powerful. Even if the Qi is not drawn out of the body, it can still withstand attacks of a considerable level. Moreover, a body that has been tempered in this way will have a strong resistance to damage of the same attributes. After Son Goku discovered this, he told Son Gofei about the situation, and Son Gofei was overjoyed. After trying it out, he excitedly hugged Son Goku and laughed for a long time. He has been thinking about what method to use to temper his body to the maximum extent so that he can maintain strong defensive capabilities under normal circumstances. The results have not been satisfactory. This Dragon Ball world is indeed much better than the China in the previous life in terms of physical training, but it is only because the world level is higher. It is still far inferior to the primitive world in ancient Chinese legends. Fighting power will become stronger as the body is trained, but more because of the powerful Qi contained, the body is still much more fragile in normal state than at full power. Sun Wufei tried many methods, but he was still unable to make his body's defense strength in normal state equal to that in full power state. Until Son Goku discovered this tempering method. Using this tempering method, the body's defense strength in normal state can definitely be made equivalent to that in full power state. In other words, you don't have to worry about being ambushed by others in the future. Son Goku originally wanted to pass this news to Krillin and others immediately, but then he changed his mind and gave up the idea. Krillin and others are far behind his two brothers in the transformation of Qi attributes. To be honest, letting them know this method of physical tempering now is not of much use. Instead, it will slow down their cultivation. It won't be too late to tell them the method when they have truly reached a master's level in transforming the properties of Qi. In this way, the Sun Wufei brothers tempered their bodies while continuing to practice, and another 2 years passed. During these 2 years, the heights of Sun Wufei and Son Goku began to grow rapidly, and stopped after reaching 1.80 meters. This height is much taller than the 1.75 meters tall Son Goku in the original work. Sun Wufei guessed that it might be because of the increase in potential and physical strength. Of course, it might also be that the attributed Qi played a role in tempering the body. In short, both Sun Wufei and Son Goku are tall and handsome, which is very different from their previous little boy images. Of course, the person who was most happy about this was Bulma. Seeing Son Gofei growing up day by day, becoming taller and more handsome, Bulma secretly thanked her luck many times. Fortunately she had made a 4-year agreement with Son Gofei, otherwise such a powerful, tall and handsome boyfriend might have been snatched away by someone else. It is worth mentioning that Son Goku also has a girlfriend, Bulma's sister Tais. We met during the 3 years I lived and trained at Bulma's house. Tais and Bulma have completely different personalities. Although they are equally smart, they have no interest in scientific research. Instead, they like adventure very much and their dream is to become a science fiction adventure novel writer. According to the original plot development, Tais would leave home to work and experience life for her dream, and later go on adventures to various planets with the galactic patrolman Jack. But that changed when Son Goku and Son Wufei stayed at Bulma's house. I don't know what's going on, but Tais actually fell in love with the cute and adorable martial arts fanatic Son Goku. Moreover, she actually managed to capture Son Goku. It cannot be put on the shelves on weekends, so the update can only be slowed down. It will be put on the shelves on Monday. Please support us, thank you. Chapter 66. When Son Goku saw Tais snuggling together, he was completely shocked. A guy like Son Goku can actually fall in love. Isn't he a straight guy? Could it be that the subtle influence I have had since childhood has taken effect? But, this is a good thing, isn't it? Taisai's family background is many times better than Shishi's. Son Goku's personality is not the type that would just focus on making money to support his family. If he finds a woman like this, he will have no worries. It's not that Son Goku thinks Shishi is a bad person, the key point is that she and Son Goku are not suitable, and they will only drag each other down if they are combined. So in this life, Son Goku deliberately prevented Shishi and Son Goku from meeting each other, in order to give Son Goku and Shishi each a new choice. Son Goku doesn't know how Shishi is doing now, but Son Goku is doing pretty well the way he is now. Taisai likes adventure. Under Son Wufi's persuasion, Dr. Briefs also approved of Taisai's choice and prepared a lot of self-defense tools for her. In the past 3 years, when Taisai had nothing to do, she would go out on adventures, and she actually collected quite a few treasures containing high-level chi. Of course, all these treasures belonged to Son Wufi, who extracted their energy to increase his potential and physical strength. As a result, the potential and physical strength of both him and Son Goku brothers have been raised to the Lavender Epic level. I guess this is all Broly's potential is, right? The 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament is about to begin again. Judging from the time, the new Piccolo should have grown up, and if nothing unexpected happens, he will appear at this conference. Such a conference is definitely not to be missed. Son Wufi wants to win 3 consecutive championships. The venue of the world's #1 martial arts tournament. It was raining heavily. Lan Chi, holding an umbrella, stood at the entrance of the conference with Master Roshi and looked at her watch. Strange, why haven't they come yet? As they were talking, a taxi stopped in front of them, and sisters Taisai and Bulma got out, as well as Oolong and Pool. After Yamcha went to the Temple of Heaven to train, he entrusted Pool to Bulma. For the past 3 years, Pool has been hanging out with Oolong. Has the others not arrived yet? Bulma and Lankai came together and laughed. Master Roshi wanted to take advantage of the opportunity, but Taisai, who was standing beside him, punched him hard on the back of the head, causing him to scream in pain. Who is this? Why is he more violent than you, Bulma? This is my sister Tais. See if you, old pervert, dare to take advantage of me. Bulma chuckled smugly. Hi. A shout came from the side, and Krillin, Tien Shinyan, Jiaozi, and Yamcha came over. Everyone, long time no see. Master Wu Tian, look at me, I've grown so tall. Krillin showed off to Master Roshi with some pride. He had indeed grown much taller than before and was already 1.5 meters tall. Krillin, long time no see, you've really grown a lot taller. Son Goku's voice came from behind them, and everyone turned their heads to see the brothers Son Goku and Son Goku walking up side by side. With a perfect height of 1.80 meters, he looks even taller and more handsome in the Kame Sensei martial arts uniform, which is completely different from his image 3 years ago. Everyone was stunned by what they saw. You're the boss? You're Goku. Although they have the same face, their expressions are different. Son Goku still has a silly and cute look, but with a bit more determination. As for Son Wufi, he was probably the only one among the crowd who had that kind of wise smirk. Why, it's only been 3 years since we last met, and you don't recognize us, Krillin. Son Wufi put his hands on Krillin's shoulders. Well, you seem to have made great progress. You almost drained all the money of the gods, right? Krillin's strength has indeed greatly increased, which Son Wufi can sense. Although Krillin had hidden his energy deep inside his body, he could sense it clearly the moment Son Wufi's hands touched Krillin. This kid is probably not much worse than my 2 brothers, right? The strength of Tien Shinyan and others has also greatly improved. It seems that the training in the Temple of Heaven is indeed not to be underestimated. However, Krillin made the biggest progress. Perhaps, this has something to do with the fact that Son Wufi raised his potential to the brown-yellow excellence level. In terms of potential, Krillin has completely surpassed the life limitations of Earthlings and is even not inferior to the geniuses among Scions. This strongest man on Earth may not be limited to the Earth in the future. You are really the boss. Krillin stared at Son Goku blankly, then looked at Son Goku. You guys are so tall. Indeed, the brothers Son Goku and Son Wufi have grown in height by leaps and bounds in the past 3 years, and Piccolo Lin is much faster. Hehe, Wufi is my boyfriend now. Bulma proudly took Sun Wufiai's arm and declared her sovereignty. Taisai also took Son Goku's arm. Goku is my boyfriend. Tien Shinyan and the others were stunned, especially Krillin, who was so envious. Everyone was about to say something else, when suddenly, everyone turned their heads as if they sensed something. Who is this person with such a strong spirit? Chapter 67. White headscarf, white cloak, tough facial features, green skin. Sun Wufiai knew at a glance that it was the descendant of Piccolo Daimao. The new Piccolo. Is that guy the remaining subordinate of Piccolo Daimao? Tien Shinyan broke out in sweat on his forehead. He could feel the terrifying power contained in Piccolo's body. Man? No. Sun Wufiai chuckled and shook his head. He is Piccolo. What? Everyone was shocked. Didn't you kill Piccolo a long time ago? Sun Wufiai shrugged. I did kill the original Piccolo Daimao. This grew from an egg that Piccolo Daimao spit out before he died, gathering all his strength and life core. It can be said to be the continuation of Piccolo Daimao's life. It's the new Piccolo. He is the descendant of Piccolo Daimao you mentioned? Can't we kill him? Master Roshi frowned. He was deeply afraid of Piccolo Daimao. If it weren't for the brothers Son Goku and Sun Wufiai, the world would have been destroyed by Piccolo Daimao. Moreover, Tien Shinyan and others did not tell Master Roshi in detail about the relationship between Piccolo Daimao and the gods. We can't help it. He and the god are one. If we kill him, the god will die, the Dragon Ball will disappear, and Shenron will never appear again. Sun Wufiai shook his head and said, besides, this Piccolo is different from the original Piccolo Daimao. He has not been affected too much by the evil deeds of humans, so his nature is not too bad. We just need to defeat him, there's no need to kill him. If he starts causing trouble, Goku and I will be there to stop him. Piccolo heard every word that Sun Wufiai and the others said. Piccolo's eyes turned cold and he couldn't help but sneer in his heart. How dare you, you ignorant fellow, say you can defeat me. When the competition starts, I will kill you two brothers openly in front of everyone. By then, no one will be able to stop me from dominating the world. Withdrawing his gaze, Piccolo turned and walked into the venue. Sun Wufiai and the others did not delay any further and entered the venue to register. Then, just like the previous two times, there will be a preliminaries first. Jiaozi, separate everyone. Also, separate that Piccolo guy so that we don't meet him in the qualifiers. Okay, Ten-san. Jiaozi's superpower was activated, changing the result of the draw, and everyone was separated. Without any suspense, Sun Gofiai, the Son Goku brothers, Krillin, Tien Shinyan, and Yam Sha all entered the semi-finals. Piccolo also easily entered the semi-finals, and according to the order, he should fight Yam Sha first. There were two more people who entered. One was a middle-aged man with an ordinary appearance, but Sun Wufiai could feel a strange power in his body. The power of rules. The gods are here again. It seems that the god still doesn't believe in the strength of these two brothers and plans to take action himself. There was another person, and it turned out to be Tao Bibai. This guy isn't dead yet. Sun Gofiai remembered it very clearly. At that time, he used the Kamehameha wave at its maximum power, which should have beaten this guy to pieces. Moreover, he checked carefully at that time and found that there was indeed no Tao Bibai's energy left. He really didn't understand how this guy escaped. I can only say that Tao Bibai is simply a cockroach. He can't even die. During the preliminaries, Jiaozi collided with Tao Bibai and was injured by Tao Bibai. However, because of his training in the Temple of Heaven, Jiaozi's strength had improved a lot, so he was only slightly injured. But Tien Shinyan still looked very angry. Wufiai, the rematch will be between you and Tao Bibai. Don't show mercy. Teach him a lesson and avenge Jiaozi. Tien Shinyan looked at the rematch match schedule and said to Sun Wufiai. Don't worry, I won't let them go. Sun Wufiai smirked. I let Tao Bibai escape with his life before, but this guy actually dares to cause trouble. Then don't blame him for being cruel. Such unrepentant fellows must be completely wiped out with thundering means. You won't let me go? Ha ha ha. You don't know the strength of the half-machine Tao Bibai. Wait a minute, you will know what horror is. A sharp voice came from the side. Sun Wufiai turned around and saw that it was Crane Immortal. This guy is not dead. And like Tao Pai Pai, his body has turned into a semi-mechanical state. They are indeed brothers. It seems that they all have special ways to save their lives. Master? You haven't already? Tian Xinyan's eyes widened. He heard Sun Wufei say that he had killed Crane Hermit, so how come Crane Hermit is not dead yet? Humph. It's all because of Sun Wufei that Bibai and I can only survive in this half-machine form. We must avenge this. Crane Hermit's face was filled with resentment. Tian Xinyan, Jiaozi, you two traitors. After we take care of Sun Gofei and Sun Goku, it will be your turn. If you want to escape, then run now. But I guarantee that you won't be able to get far, ha 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 ha. Chapter 68. The semi-mechanized Crane Hermit and Tao Pai Pai walked away with a grim smile. Sun Goku stared at their backs and frowned, brother, these two guys are annoying. But you have to be careful when you attack, don't really kill Tao Bibai, or you will be disqualified from the competition. Sun Goku raised his eyebrows and his lips curled up. It seemed that Sun Goku had already figured out that he was planning to kill Tao Pai Pai. Don't worry, I won't lose my qualifications because of this guy. Sun Wufei has thought it through clearly. He will never keep scum like Tao Pai Pai and Crane Hermit. However, he also couldn't let others see the process of him killing the two people. The first match of the rematch, contestant Sun Wufei versus contestant robot Tao Pai Pai. With the referee's shout, the rematch officially began. Cheers and discussions rang out in the audience. Sun Gofei? He's the champion of the last two competitions. Who is that robot Tao Pai Pai? I seem to have heard of someone who is the world's #1 killer. The world's #1 martial arts champion versus the world's #1 killer? Hey, this is going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be a fight between dragons and tigers. The sound of discussion reached Sun Wufei's ears, and he just smiled disdainfully. He doesn't even take Tao Bibai's strength seriously. Just deal with this guy with thunderous means. Ha ha ha. Sun Wufei, I finally got the chance to take revenge on you. Looking at Sun Wufei standing in front of him, the mechanical peach grinned fiercely, his eyes full of resentment. Sun Wufei, do you know how I have been living these years? This guy talks too much nonsense. Referee, can we start? Sun Wufei ignored Tao Bibai and turned to the referee in sunglasses and asked. It has already started, said the referee in sunglasses. Really? Sun Wufei raised his lips into a wicked smile, and the next moment, his figure suddenly disappeared and appeared behind the mechanical Tao Bibai. People, where are the people? The hideous smile on the mechanical Tao Bibai's face froze, and he looked around in panic. At this moment, a sharp pain suddenly came from the back of his heart, accompanied by destructive energy entering his body, and Sun Wufei's disdainful sneer, I have no interest in how you live. I only know that you will soon become a dead person. Sun Wufei, you. Before mechanical Tao Bibai could finish his words, he was hit hard on the side of his waist and was thrown out. Sun Wufei didn't give him any chance. He followed up and kicked him again, directly kicking him into the air. Ah! BD, I'm going to kill you. The corner of the robot's mouth was bleeding, and it roared in anger. It pulled out its right mechanical arm towards Sun Wufei, revealing the gun barrel in the middle. This is a super whole wave that is several times stronger than the whole wave. You will never be able to block it. Prepare to be wonderful waves. Sun Wufei didn't have the patience to listen to Robot Tao Pai's nonsense, so he directly attacked it with a Kamehameha wave. Ah! You sneak attack! Robot Peach Pai Pai was shocked. Before the super whole wave could be released, the Kamehameha wave had already hit him. The powerful light wave directly knocked him high into the sky. A sneak attack? Idiot! I just don't want to waste my time talking to you. Sun Wufei withdrew his hand and stood, a cold look of disdain on his lips, watching the mechanical crane immortal fly up in panic, shouting, a hole. Just wait. Then he hurriedly chased after the mechanical Tao Pai Pai that was pushed away by the Kamehameha wave. Referee, he's out of bounds, and he's going to fall very far. He probably won't come back. You can make the announcement. Sun Wufei turned to the referee and said. Out of bounds. Contestant Sun Wufei wins and advances to the semi-finals. As the referee made the announcement, cheers and exclamations rang out. Sun Wufei, however, looked calm as he sensed carefully. Suddenly, he clenched his fists tightly. In the palm of his hand, a ball of lightning and fire energy was suddenly crushed. Boom! Dozens of kilometers away, a violent explosion sounded. The ground beneath our feet seemed to be shaking slightly, which shows how violent the explosion was. As the sound of the explosion rang out, the aura of mechanical Tao Bibai and mechanical crane hermit completely disappeared, leaving no trace. Tian Xinyan's expression changed, and he asked Sun Wufei, who was walking down the stage, in surprise, Wu Fei, Tao Bibai and my master, Crane Immortal, they. There will no longer be Tao Bibai and Crane Immortal in this world. I promise. Sun Wufei smiled faintly, patted Tian Xinyan's shoulder, and walked towards the back of the venue. Tian Xinyan stared at Sun Wufei's back in a daze, feeling mixed emotions. This guy is really ruthless. But, how did he cause such a violent explosion at such a distance and for such a long time? Piccolo's heart was faintly shrouded in a layer of haze. The competition continued. Son Goku defeated Tian Xinyan, Piccolo defeated Yamcha, and it was the turn of Krillin and Tenjin to compete. Brother, who do you think will win between Tian Shen and Krillin? What do you think? In fact, the winner has already been obvious, hasn't it? The corner of Sun Wufei's mouth curled up into a meaningful smile. The contract will be sent to the company tomorrow, Monday. It will be put on the shelves after the status is changed. 10 chapters burst. 5 chapters per day will be guaranteed in the future. Please subscribe to support, thank you. Sion is about to invade, and the grand scene is coming. Chapter 69. On the stage. God, why did you come here in person? And you possessed a mortal? Krillin asked the god through voice transmission. You figured it out. The god was slightly surprised, but then his expression became serious. Since you've seen it, then you should admit defeat. You may not know yet, but the new Piccolo Daimao has appeared. He is the demon boy. Only I can defeat him. I also have the responsibility to defeat him. After all this is caused by me. No, God. I will not give up. Krillin interrupted Tian Shen, it is not your responsibility alone to defeat Piccolo Daimao. Besides, I don't think you are stronger than me now, God. The god looked at Krillin with some surprise. Krillin, self-confidence is a good thing, but if you don't know yourself, that's arrogance. Am I confident or arrogant? God, you will know if you try it yourself, Krillin said, assuming an attacking posture. Okay. I'll test it myself to see how far you've come. The god nodded. For the past 3 years, Krillin and his friends were trained by Mr. Popo. He did not interfere and did not know what level they had reached. Now, it's time to take a look. Swish. Swish. The two figures disappeared at the same time. The next moment, the sound of fierce fighting rang out on the field. The two figures, whose afterimages could only be seen, kept fighting and tangling with each other. The fighting was so fierce that it was unprecedented. The muffled sound of the air exploding spread in all directions, and the audience below the stage instantly became excited. Wonderful! So wonderful! Good fight! Come on! Fight harder! I never expected that in just the rematch, we could see such intense fights, each one more exciting than the last. The standard of this world's #1 martial arts tournament is really getting higher and higher, call. Krillin was hit by the punch from the god and was knocked away. He immediately turned over, kicked the ground hard and bounced back. He kicked the god in the face, causing him to roll over. After dozens of rounds of fighting, the two sides were evenly matched. Not bad, Krillin. I didn't expect you to have grown to this point. Wiping the blood from the corner of his mouth, the god looked at Krillin with some surprise. It's a pity that I am using a mortal body now, and I can't exert my greatest strength. But you can't defeat Piccolo with just this little power. If you want to deal with him, you can only use the demon sealing wave. You don't know how to do that, do you? Hearing this, Krillin laughed and said, I don't know how to use the demon sealing wave, but God, I didn't say that this is my full strength. What? The god was shocked. But Klin's eyes focused, he clenched his fists in front of him, and suddenly shouted loudly. The violent energy surged out of his body, and the whole arena shook slightly. Hey! Piccolo, who was watching the fight from behind the ring wall, had a changed expression. The energy released by Krillin at this moment was not much different from his. When did this kid cultivate to this level? On the ring, Krillin had already rushed towards the god, his speed and strength greatly increased compared to before. The god was caught off guard and was hit hard by a punch, sending him flying backwards. He rolled over to steady himself, but Krillin had already rushed over and launched a series of heavy and fierce attacks, all of which hit the god solidly. He could no longer control his body and was knocked flying. Call. He fell heavily to the ground under the ring. Out of bounds. Krillin wins. The god got up from the ground, with a look of satisfaction on his face. Good. Very good. It seems that you have really surpassed me completely. I will leave the task of dealing with Piccolo to you. Krillin has surpassed me, so Son Goku and Son Goku have always been above Krillin, and they will only be more powerful. The god felt that he could finally rest assured. Turning around and waving his hand, the god left the arena directly. This body can't be used for much longer, it's time to return it. If you want to dominate the world, it may not be that easy. Behind the wall of the arena, Piccolo's face was as gloomy as water, and his mood suddenly turned bad. In the semi-finals, Son Goku vs Piccolo, Son Goku vs Krillin. The first competition was between Son Goku and Krillin. Without any disguise, Son Goku and Krillin went all out as soon as they entered the battle. The intensity of the battle was even more intense than the battle between Krillin and the god. Krillin's progress is indeed quite great. In terms of combat power alone, he may still be a little behind the Son Wufei brothers, but he is outstanding in the use of tricks. Krillin even created his own energy bomb, adding wind attribute changes to it, which can produce wind blade explosions, causing Son Goku a lot of trouble. But in the end, Son Goku was stronger and won. Next, it was the duel between Son Wufei and Piccolo. Son Wufei, I have been waiting for this day for so long. Piccolo took off his cloak and threw it aside with a heavy thud. Obviously, there is a lot of padding in it. I will avenge my father. Piccolo stretched out his hand towards Son Goku, then clenched it tightly. I will kill you in front of everyone, and then I will kill your brother Son Goku and your friends. This world will fall back into the hands of me, Piccolo Daimao, and become the world of the demons. Son Wufei pouted and scratched his ears impatiently. Are you done? Why are you all talking so much nonsense? If you want to kill me, then show your true strength. Who can't talk nonsense? If you don't attack, I'll do it first. Before he finished speaking, and before Piccolo could reply, Son Wufei disappeared in a flash, and the next moment he appeared in front of Piccolo. Lang Lang hit Piccolo's stomach with 10 punches. Ah, ah! Even Piccolo found it hard to bear the sudden heavy blow. His eyes widened and he covered his stomach. Bang! Son Wufei didn't stop at all and kicked Piccolo in the face again, sending him flying. With a strong kick of his legs on the ground, Sun Wukong flew into the air and chased after Bai Zhong. A hole! Piccolo was furious, and before he could steady himself, he shot a wave of light towards Sun Wufei. Snort! Sun Wufei just snorted coldly and slammed the light wave away with a knife. Call! Above the open space in the distance, the ground was hit, creating a large pit with a radius of dozens of meters. Swish! Sun Wufei's figure suddenly disappeared when he approached Piccolo, and the next moment, he appeared directly behind him. He clenched his hands together and hammered Qin down from mid-air. Boom! Most of the arena collapsed. Chapter 70. Gravel splashes. The audience was stunned. That deep pit on the ground in the distance is so scary. If this hits you, it's chilling just to think about it. Hateful. Piccolo climbed up from the ruins of the ring. His clothes were a little tattered, and the headscarf on his head had disappeared. Hey? Why it looks so familiar? The referee wearing sunglasses was the first to notice the abnormality. Some people in the audience also started talking. BB. It looks a lot like Piccolo Daimao. Really? It really looks like Piccolo Daimao, looks just like him. Not really. I am the reborn Piccolo Daimao. Piccolo glanced at everyone fiercely and suddenly shouted, I'm back for revenge. Everyone's eyes suddenly widened, and they were all stunned. Go tell the world. I, Piccolo Daimao, am back. Piccolo opened his arms. After I kill Son Goku and Son Wufei, I will become the king of this world again. Piccolo Daimao's reign of terror will begin again. Silence. Deathly silence. A moment later. Wow. Ah, ah. Oh my god, run. Oh my god, run. As the screams rang out, more and more screams broke out, and all the audience turned around and ran away, wishing their parents had given them 2 more legs. In a moment, only Bulma and a few others were left in the originally bustling conference venue. Even the contestants had basically all run away, leaving only Son Goku and Krillin. There is also a referee wearing sunglasses. What should I do? I am the referee, I can't run away. The referee's legs were shaking, and then he suddenly climbed over the fence of the audience and squatted down, holding the microphone and continued to shout, "Oh my god! This is incredible! The Magic Boy contestant is actually Piccolo Daimao. The biggest variable in this game has appeared. You are really professional." Bulma on the side had a strange expression on her face, sweat on her forehead as she looked at the referee wearing sunglasses. "Tien Shinyan, Grandpa Turtle, please step back and don't hinder me from competing with him." Sun Wufei had already fallen from midair at this time, standing on the other intact half of the arena, and spoke to everyone. "Oh, okay." Tien Shinyan and the others nodded. After seeing the strength of Sun Wufei and Piccolo Daimao, who were much stronger than them, they knew that staying would only become a burden to Sun Wufei. "Goku, Krillin, aren't you going to leave?" Son Goku and Krillin were the only ones standing still. "Well, you guys move away, we'll just watch here, maybe we can help the boss," Krillin said. "Tais, you and Bulma, step back, it's too dangerous here." Son Goku also tilted his head thinking about Taisai and Bulma. "Okay." Taisai has always had great trust in Son Goku, so she pulled Bulma and moved away without hesitation. "Wu Fei, be careful." Tien Shinyan, Yamcha and others sighed and ran away. There is a huge gap between them and Son Goku and Krillin, and they really can't stay as close as them with confidence. Soon, apart from Son Goku and Krillin, the only person left at the scene was the referee in sunglasses. "All gone? What should I do then?" The referee in sunglasses was about to cry, but his professional ethics told him that he couldn't run. "Don't worry, you'll be fine with me here." Son Goku appeared in front of the referee wearing sunglasses and said lightly, but his eyes were still on the ring. "All right, Piccolo. Now that everyone who's in the way has left, it's time for you to show your true strength." Son Goku yelled to Piccolo, "My brother is different from me. If you keep hiding your strength, you won't stand a chance." Goku is such a talkative guy. Sun Wufei was speechless. He originally wanted to knock Piccolo down with a series of combos. Only Son Goku likes to let his opponent use all his strength to fight to the death. What he likes is to crush the enemy directly with the power of thunder. "No chance at all?" "Humph." Piccolo's face darkened. "I want to see who has no chance." "Haha." With a loud shout, powerful energy rushed out of Piccolo's body, all the dust and gravel around him flew away, and circles of air waves rose from his body. The next moment, he suddenly rushed towards Sun Wukong. Snap! Call! The sound of fierce fighting rang out. This time, the two people's figures could hardly be seen. All you could hear was the sound of fighting on the ring, which kept changing in the air. Amazing! Wufei and Piccolo are so amazing. I can't even keep up with them. Tien Shinyan and his companions, who had retreated more than 100 meters away, stared at the direction of the ring in amazement, their bodies trembling with shock. "I thought I had trained very well in the Heavenly God Temple and could catch up with the Sun Wufei brothers, but I didn't expect that I was still so far behind. No, it seems the gap is getting bigger. Of the few of us, it seems that only Krillin has caught up with Gofei and Goku. How come that boy is so much stronger than us when we are all training the same?" Yamcha sighed with some emotion. "Yet, not only Wufei and Goku, Krillin is also far ahead of us." Tien Shinyan was silent. He once thought he was invincible, but now he found out that there are only 4 people in this world who are stronger than him. This is really a huge blow. I wonder who will win between Wufei and Piccolo. I can't tell. Piccolo's energy is too strong, far beyond ours. And Wufei, he seems to be hiding something. I wonder if his true strength can suppress Piccolo. On the stage, the battle continues. After Piccolo used all his strength, he fought back and forth with Sun Wufei, and the two sides temporarily ended in a draw. Piccolo took a lot of heavy punches from Sun Wufei, and Sun Wufei also took a few vicious moves from Piccolo. Both sides were injured and their physical strength began to decline. "Humph! Are you finally getting tired? Sun Wufei, I will definitely kill you today. That's enough. You've said this many times. Am I not living well now?" Facing Piccolo's provocation, Sun Wufei showed disdain. He suddenly grabbed Piccolo's outstretched arm, shouted loudly, and threw him over his shoulder, smashing him to the ground on the other side. Out of bounds, Sun Wufiai wins. The referee in sunglasses poked his head out from behind the wall, took a look, and shouted. Get lost! What do you mean in and out of bounds? Do you think this is just a game? Piccolo was furious and got up from the ground. A violent and terrible energy gathered in his body. I will destroy you bastards along with this city. There are 8 more chapters, which will be released continuously. Chapter 71. Not good. Feeling the explosive energy gathering from Piccolo, Sun Wufiai's face changed. This BD, is he trying to clear the place directly? Retreat quickly, retreat far away. Turning around, Sun Wufiai yelled at Bulma and the others who were 100 meters away. Retreat? Bulma and the others were stunned. They were already 100 meters away, why were they retreating? Piccolo's aura grew stronger and stronger, and his entire body began to glow. At this point, Tian Xinyan and Yam Sha finally realized the danger. Qigong Cannon. Tian Xinyan roared and activated his Qigong Cannon, blasting a large hole in the ground. Everyone, get in and hide. Yam Sha, catch it. Son Goku, who had been protecting the referee, threw the referee towards Yam Sha. The referee wearing sunglasses felt dizzy, and by the time he came to his senses, he had been grabbed by Yam Sha and dragged into the deep pit created by Tian Xinyan. Hey, 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 hey! Piccolo's chi concentration finally reached its peak, and his whole body was surrounded by a dazzling chi like a lightning arc. He looked up at Sun Wufiai and smiled evilly. Go to hell! The next moment, he raised his hands high, and a terrible energy shock suddenly spread out from his body. Sun Wufiai stepped back slightly with his right foot, half-crouched with his legs, and crossed his arms to block in front of him. Stand your ground! Son Goku and Krillin also made the same pose. The violent energy hit the 3 people hard. It also suddenly spread out in all directions. The ground cracked and the soil was lifted up, a thick layer of it was blown away, and all the surrounding buildings were destroyed. Everything within a few kilometers was destroyed and turned into red earth. The energy shock began to weaken and finally disappeared. Tian Xinyan and others pushed aside the rubble from the deep pit, popped their heads out, and looked towards the direction of the competition venue. Pupils suddenly dilated. He shouted with joy, Wu Fei! What? Piccolo was shocked, and he lowered his head suddenly, looking at the figure standing in front of him in disbelief. That's right, Sun Wufiai. This guy, despite enduring his range-destructive attack, didn't die. He only had some minor scratches on his skin where his clothes were torn. Not only Sun Wufiai, but Son Goku and Krillin, 20 meters away, also withstood the attack, but their clothes were damaged to varying degrees. How is it? I can handle this move of yours. Sun Wufiai put his hands down, and a smug smile appeared on his lips. After using such a domineering move, your energy has dropped significantly. This time, I'm going to knock you down in one blow. You won't have the strength to get up again. Piccolo's energy was indeed greatly reduced, and Sun Wufiai could feel it clearly. Even Krillin can defeat Piccolo now. Take it! With a roar, Sun Wukong rushed towards Piccolo and stabbed Piccolo in the face with one hand. Piccolo was thrown backwards, but Sun Wufiai grabbed his arm and pulled him back, then punched him in the face repeatedly. Then, he kicked Piccolo hard on the side of his neck with his left foot. Ah! Blood spurted out from Piccolo's mouth and nose. One more hit. Astonishing power of thunder and fire swirled around his fist, and Sun Wufiai punched Piccolo's lower abdomen from bottom to top. The fist sunk deeply into Piccolo's back, causing it to bulge backwards. It almost went straight through him. Woo woo woo. Piccolo's eyes bulged out, his mouth opened wide, blood and saliva gushed out of his mouth. Seriously injured. After performing that move just now, the energy in his body dropped greatly, and his body's defensive ability was much weaker than before. He could not withstand such a fierce attack from Sun Wufiai. He is seriously injured. It's not over yet. One last shot. Grabbing Piccolo's feet, Sun Wufiai began to spin on the spot, faster and faster, like a spinning top. Then, he suddenly let go, and Piccolo howled miserably and flew high into the sky. Turtle-style Qi-Gong wave. A light wave with the aura of thunder and fire condensed in Son Goku's hand and blasted fiercely towards Piccolo in the sky. Ah! Piccolo was hit hard by the Kamehameha wave condensed by the power of thunder and fire, and let out a scream that was not like a human voice. A violent explosion sounded in the sky. The strong light made everyone close their eyes. When the light gradually faded, everyone opened their eyes again and looked up at the sky. Piccolo's figure fell from the sky and hit the ground heavily, creating a human-shaped hole in the ground. His whole body was covered with scars. Has completely lost its combat effectiveness. In the distance, the god who had just been freed from the possession suddenly felt weak, as if his vitality was rapidly draining away. Sun Wufei, that guy, he really did it. The god began to breathe heavily, and he felt that death was approaching him rapidly. But there was a happy smile on his face. The long-standing guild can finally be put to an end today. Piccolo Daimao, the scourge of the world created by him, can finally be eliminated. He's dying. In the deep pit, Sun Wufei walked to Piccolo's side, looked at Piccolo whose breath was rapidly decreasing, and frowned slightly. Brother, you can't kill him, otherwise the gods will die too. Son Goku and Krillin ran over. Of course I do. Sun Wufei stretched out his hand to Krillin. Krillin, did you bring senzu beans? Give me 2. Oh, okay. Krillin took out the bag of senzu beans from his arms, poured out 2 and gave them to Sun Wufei. Sun Wufei ate one himself and fed the other to Piccolo. Eat it can save your life. This move shocked everyone. Wow! Wufei, what are you doing? Yajirobe, who had just run over from a distance, hurriedly dug a new hole and buried himself in it. Sun Wufei, what do you mean? After eating the senzu bean, Piccolo instantly recovered as before, suddenly jumped away, and stood still several meters away, looking at Sun Wufei with a confused and alert look on his face. Nothing. I just don't want to kill you like this. Sun Wufei said calmly, if you die, the gods will die too. And Goku and I both think that you are different from the original Piccolo Daimao. So far, you haven't done anything heinous, so there's no need to kill you. Son Goku also nodded, that's right. You are quite strong and a good opponent. I also want to compete with you. It would be a pity to let you die like this. Piccolo was silent. After a moment, he snorted with a grim smile, humph. 2 naive guys. Do you think I will be grateful to you for this? Don't dream. I'm Piccolo Daimao. I'll let you go today, but one day, I will kill both of you brothers and rule the world again. Chapter 72. I didn't expect you to be grateful to me. Sun Wufei shrugged indifferently, but Piccolo, there is something I want to remind you. In the next 5 years, you must practice well. 5 years from now, powerful aliens will attack the Earth. If you don't want to be killed, you should work hard to make yourself stronger. Piccolo was stunned. 5 years later? Aliens attack? How do you know? Sun Wufei, you don't think I will believe such a lame excuse. Whether you believe it or not is up to you. Anyway, I've already told you. Snort. With another cold snort, Piccolo soared into the sky and flew high into the sky. Enjoy the rest of your life before we meet again. I promise, this won't last long. Ha 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 ha. Piccolo left, and Sun Wufei looked at the direction he left in silence for a long time. Suddenly, he turned his head and looked at the referee in sunglasses 100 meters away, grinning. It seems that there is still a final between Goku and I. But there is no place. Referee, what do you say we should do? Decision, decision. The referee was stunned for a moment, then reacted, yes, it's 23. Yes, there is still a final. But this. The venue was completely destroyed. No, everything around it was destroyed. The audience has all left, and even the organizers of the conference have all run away. How can the finals go on? No need to fight, I give up. Son Goku smiled and said to Son Gofei, brother, you had a fierce battle with Piccolo. Although you ate senzu beans, you are mentally exhausted. I don't want to take advantage of you. Goku, you don't seem to be someone who would give up so easily. Sun Wufei was a little confused. Son Goku always likes to challenge him to a duel, so why is he admitting defeat now? Because I know that I am still a little bit inferior to you, brother. If we really fight, I can't beat you, brother. There is no need for that. Son Goku laughed, besides, there is no place for us to compete here. But I won't always lag behind. When I surpass my brother one day, I will definitely find another opportunity to compete with you. UBD. Sun Wufei smiled, okay. I'll accept your challenge anytime. As long as you are interested. Can I announce the results now? The referee in sunglasses had already walked closer and asked weakly. Certainly. He stood up straight, pushed up his sunglasses, and announced loudly, Sun Wufi wins. The champion of the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament is Sun Wufi. 3 consecutive championships. Hee. Sun Wufi raised his right hand high and laughed. The goal of winning the championship in 3 years has finally been achieved. Next, it's time to prepare for the Scion attack on Earth in 5 years. In these 5 years, we must improve our combat effectiveness as much as possible. 5 years later, give that arrogant Raditz a head-on blow. Let him see who is the inferior soldier and who is the waste. Referee, where is Guanjin? Sun Wufi suddenly put his head in front of the referee. Ah! The referee was stunned. Bonus. Sun Wufi emphasized his tone. Oh, yes. The referee wiped the sweat from his forehead and said, well, the person in charge of the conference ran away. I'll make a phone call first and tell you about the prize money later. It won't take long. I'll go with you now, hee. Sun Wufi said, and flew up with the referee. Let's go, let's call someone. Brother, why do you care so much about the prize money? Son Goku scratched his head in confusion as he looked at Son Goku flying away with the referee. He has no concept of money. Your brother is different from you. Bulma came to Son Goku's side at some point and looked at his receding back with a playful smile on her face. Sun Wufi was just a tiny kid back then, but now he is as strong as a mountain. Bulma secretly felt lucky that she had caught this man. Otherwise, if he had been snatched away by some SYBCH, she would have cried to death. Well, no, I have to get married to Wu Fei quickly. Once the matter is settled, I won't be afraid that he will run away. Bulma, what are you thinking about? Why are you smiling so strangely? Tais approached Bulma suspiciously. Sister, let me tell you. Bulma dragged Tais aside and whispered, leaving Son Goku confused. After receiving the prize money from the competition, Bulma took the opportunity to propose marriage to Son Goku and Taisai, and Son Goku also got married at the same time. This news caught the Sun Wufi brothers off guard. But after thinking about it, Sun Wufi nodded in agreement. Anyway, it has been confirmed that Bulma will be his wife, so it might as well be decided sooner rather than later. From now on, I can live in Bulma's house legitimately and let Bulma help me research various training items that can improve my combat effectiveness, hee. Son Goku didn't have much idea about marriage at all. Since Son Goku didn't object, he certainly wouldn't object either. In this way, the capsule company closed for 3 days and held an unprecedented grand wedding. The 2 sisters Tais and Bulma got married at the same time, but the younger sister married the older brother and the older sister married the younger brother. Master Roshi, Krillin, Tien Shinyan and others were all invited to the wedding, and everyone let loose and celebrated for 3 days. They were all drunk. After the celebration, Bulma asked for a honeymoon. Sun Wufi thought about it and agreed, but he also put forward a condition, which was that after the honeymoon, he would let Bulma help him develop a combat power detector. To be honest, Sun Wufi was not quite clear about the current level of his combat power. Raditz will come to Earth in 5 years, and his combat power is 1,500 points. Sun Wufi must ensure that before that, his fighting power is far greater than Raditz, because in a year, more powerful Vegeta and Nappa will come to Earth. Son Goku and Taisai naturally went on their honeymoon together, and the 2 young couples spent a happy 2-month honeymoon. Then, continue to return to the capsule company to practice. Following Sun Wufi's request, Bulma spent almost 2 months developing a combat power detector that was very similar to Sion's detector. At present, Sun Wufi's normal combat power is 876, and Son Goku's is 872. The gap between the 2 brothers is not that big. And it is obviously much stronger than in the original. But this is not enough. They have just fully adapted to the 15 times gravity. We must practice harder. The goal is to adapt to 50 times the gravity before Raditz arrives. Chapter 73. Who? In the gravity room, the brothers Son Goku and Son Goku were competing with each other in sweat. Their speed did not seem fast, and was even slower than the speed of Son Goku and Krillin in the World Martial Arts Tournament. But this is a battle under 30 times the gravity. They have been practicing like this for the past 4 years. When I watched anime in my previous life, I felt that 50 times gravity, 100 times gravity, 150 times gravity were all very easy things. As long as the plot was right, I could naturally overcome it. But when he really came to this Dragon Ball world and integrated into this world and experienced it personally, Son Goku found that it was not the case at all. The protagonist Son Goku was able to go from a low-level warrior to becoming stronger when facing stronger opponents and saving the Earth several times. In addition to his scion talent and the aura of the protagonist, it is inseparable from his hard work. In terms of talent, Son Goku was just a low-level fighter at the beginning, and his initial potential value was the lowest. However, he improved his potential value step by step during the training process, and finally became the first strong man to break through to Super Saiyan. Even after that, he did not slack off, but continued to work steadily and hard step by step, so he was able to always be better than Vegeta. The suffering and pain behind the scenes cannot be seen by the people who accompany them. Sun Wufei is the same now. In this life, because of the golden finger that can control potential and physical strength, the starting point of him and Son Goku is much higher than before. Even so, it is quite difficult to completely adapt to 50 times the gravity within 5 years. Sun Wufei also didn't want to use Sion's incredible ability casually. Every time he hovered on the edge of death, his combat power would increase dramatically. Because this ability weakened a lot after breaking through to Super Saiyan, it means that basic age is only useful when the strength is low. Moreover, Sun Wufei always felt that this opportunistic way of improving combat effectiveness was far less stable than his own solid practice. Without a stable foundation, it is simply a pipe dream to want to reach a high level and reach the peak. You never know when you will encounter an insurmountable bottleneck. And the more you cut corners, the thicker the bottleneck will become. Brother, our combat power has exceeded 4,000. Is it really necessary to do this kind of hard training every day? The Scion brother Raditz you mentioned should not be able to beat us, right? During the intermission, Son Goku devoured the seafood. Can you swallow what's in your mouth before you speak? Sun Wufei was speechless. Gurgle. Son Goku nodded after hearing this, swallowed the food in his mouth, patted his chest, took a few gulps of water, and then repeated what he had just said clearly. Is a combat power of more than 2,000 so impressive? Goku, besides Raditz, there are 2 more powerful Scions. Son Goku frowned slightly. Son Goku's words sounded a bit lax. This is unacceptable. How strong? Son Goku's eyes flashed with fighting spirit. Ever since he knew that Raditz's combat power was 1,500, and that the combat power detector made by Bulma had measured that the combat power of the 2 brothers had exceeded 4,000, Son Goku did feel a little slack. Because I can't see a stronger goal. Now listening to what Sun Wufei said, it seems that my brother knows the situation of the other 2 Scions. Nappa's combat power is 6,005. And Vegeta is a genius warrior named after planet Vegeta, and is King Vegeta's most outstanding son. His combat power is 18. Sun Wufei raised his finger, our current combat power is less than 3,000 at the highest. Do you think we can really compete with them? 6,005? 18,000? Son Goku almost fell to the ground. How is it possible? So strong. What do you think? Sun Wufei rolled his eyes at Son Goku. Besides them, there are even more terrifying villains in the universe. With our current combat power, it's not enough to deal with them. So, there is such a strong person. Son Goku's eyes were once again filled with fighting spirit. Brother, let's increase the gravity to 35 times. There is still 1 year left. In this last year, we must adapt to 50 times the gravity. Okay, no problem. Seeing Son Goku regain his fighting spirit, Sun Wufei laughed. However, daily physical training is still necessary. Ah! Son Goku's face suddenly turned bitter. Brother, is it really necessary to temper the body? We can achieve the same effect by improving our chi. What Sun Wufei meant by body tempering was to transform the chi and use it to temper the body, allowing the body to maintain super strong defense at full power even under normal circumstances. However, this would consume a lot of energy and would greatly slow down the growth of combat effectiveness. If they hadn't done body training, the combat power of Sun Wufei and Son Goku would probably be at least 6,000 or 7,000 now. Another point is that if you want to use the chi transformed into various attributes to temper your body, the requirements for the attribute transformation of chi are also very high, and it will also consume a lot of time. But Sun Wufei felt that it was all worth it. In 4 years, he has mastered the transformation of ki lightning and fire attributes to perfection, and seems to have also vaguely comprehended a little bit of the transformation of time attributes. Sun Wufei never mentioned this to anyone, including Son Goku, because the amount of chi he could transform into the attribute of time was too little, and it was far from being able to cover his entire body after the transformation. In actual combat, it doesn't have much effect. But Sun Wufei himself could feel this progress. The time attribute is one of the most difficult attributes to control among all attributes, and is known as one of the 2 god-level attributes along with the space attribute. Generally speaking, only God can be in control. Sun Wufei's combat power is not high yet, but he can touch the edge of the time, Zhao Qian's, attribute, which is extremely rare. As long as you persist and continue to comprehend, there will always be a day when you will be able to completely control it. As for Son Goku, he has already mastered the wind attribute and space attribute quite proficiently. From being able to use wind attributed chi alone at the beginning, to now being able to combine wind and space attributes together and attach dimensional wind blades to attacks, the speed of progress is amazing. If it is the first time to fight, and if you don't know Son Goku's strengths, even someone who is much stronger than him may be killed by him by cutting his body open with one move. Of course, Wufei would never say these words to Son Goku. Otherwise this kid will get too cocky and stop working hard. It is necessary to temper your body. I told you a long time ago, there is no room for negotiation. Hurry up and eat, then spend an hour with Gohan and Bra in parent-child activities, spend an hour with Bulma and Taisai, and then continue training. Chapter 74. Ah! I still have to accompany Taisai. Son Goku's expression turned even more bitter. Son Gohan is his and Taisa's son, who was conceived during their honeymoon and is now 3 years old. Son Gohan's child is a daughter named Son Bula, who was born 3 days later than Son Gohan. Ever since he had a child, Son Wufei made it a rule that he must spend an hour with his child every day, without fail. Besides the children, there is also a wife. The child spends 1 hour on parent-child activities, and the wife spends 1 hour with him. During this hour, no matter what my wife wants to do, I will accompany her unconditionally. In addition to enforcing this rule himself, Son Wufei also forced Son Goku to enforce it. Son Goku is not opposed to parent-child activities with Son Gohan. Basically, he takes Gohan to exercise. But accompanying Taisai gave him a headache. Tais is different from Bulma. Bulma likes shopping, while Tais likes writing science fiction novels. She always asks Son Goku to be her reader, and he has to write reviews and give suggestions after reading. This is more difficult for Son Goku than shopping. Goku, this is a man's responsibility. You are no longer alone, you have a family and children, and necessary companionship is a must. Do you understand? Son Wufei said as he ate up all the food in front of him in no time. He stood up and picked up Son Bula with a smile on his face and went out shopping with Bulma. Dad, eat quickly and then take me to practice. Son Gohan ran over. Okay. After you finish practicing, please help me take a look at the adventures on the planet Pala that I just wrote. I think it's pretty good. Taisai also came over. I understand, Taisai. Time flies, and in the blink of an eye, another year has passed. During this year, Son Goku and Son Wufei finally achieved their goal and basically adapted to 50 times the gravity. Their normal combat power also increased from more than 4,000 to nearly 6,000. When the explosion is at full power, it even has a combat power of 10,000. This kind of fighting power is of course far behind Vegeta, but it is enough to kill Nappa in seconds. Not to mention Raditz. Krillin came once during this period and asked Bulma for a universal capsule equipped with a gravity chamber. Krillin's training with the God of Heaven in recent years has been very effective, and his combat power has reached more than 2,000, but he is still not as good as the Son Wufei brothers. In addition, I heard that Tien Shinyan and his men also have a combat power of over 1,000. The combat power of Dragon Ball fighters has been improved compared to the original work, CDDB. Krillin was a little proud at first, but after hearing that the Son Wufei brothers had adapted to 50 times the gravity, the pride in his heart was immediately thrown out of the window. Compared with the Son Wufei brothers, his progress is nothing. So Krillin asked Bulma to make him an identical gravity room, intending to take it back to the ghost house to practice. Well, by the way, there is a little episode here, that is, the bald boy Krillin has successfully broken through his status as a virgin and married Lan Chi. I don't know if it's because Sun Wufei helped Krillin improve his physical strength, but Krillin grew a lot taller, reaching 1.7 meters. Although he is still not as tall and majestic as Tian Xinyan, he is taller than Lan Qi. Tian Xinyan is just a nerd. All he does every day is practice. He has no idea how to get along with girls. In this regard, Clink is much better than him. So after seeing Tian Xinyan's dullness, Lan Kai quickly gave up on Tian Xinyan and instead discovered Krillin, a treasure boy. 4 years after the Sun Wufei brothers got married, Krillin officially got married and moved back to the Kame house from the Heavenly Temple. To be honest, when Sun Wufei learned that Krillin and Lan Qi were together, he was extremely surprised. His butterfly wings seemed to be flashing a bit too much. Now that Krillin is in a relationship with Lan Kai, what will happen to Android 18 in the future? Of course, some things will not change because of the appearance of Sun Wufei. What is coming will come. Time goes to 5 years after the end of the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament. On this day, a Scion Universe spaceship streaked across the sky and fell towards the Earth. Son Goku's older brother, Scion Raditz, has arrived. Near a farm in the northern mountains. With a loud bang, a big hole was smashed into the ground. Raditz pushed open the hatch and walked out. At the same time, in the turtle house. Today is the party that Bulma proposed every 6 months, and everyone is having fun at Kame house. Suddenly, Sun Wufei, who was playing with his daughter Sun Bula on the turtle, looked moved and raised his head to the north. His eyes narrowed slightly. Has it finally arrived? Son Goku also sensed it and rushed out of the house. Brother, an evil aura has descended. Is it the Raditz you mentioned? Krillin and the others also noticed it. Bulma put the combat detector on her ear. Didi, northern mountain area, 3,000 kilometers away, combat power 1,500. That's right, it's definitely Raditz. Hold your temper, don't let that guy notice it too early, otherwise, he will be scared away. Sun Wufei winked at everyone and chuckled evilly. Okay. Klin and his companions also smirked, and suppressed their energy one by one, revealing only over 300 points of combat power. Son Goku and Sun Wufei deliberately revealed about 1,100 years of combat history. Northern mountainous area. What a powerful fighting force. The first thing Raditz detected was Piccolo's fighting ability. Piccolo has not been idle in the past 5 years. Because of Sun Wufei's advice, Piccolo has been practicing very hard over the years. However, his training conditions are obviously not as good as those of the brothers Son Goku and Sun Wufei. Up to now, the combat power has barely reached 3,000. Under normal circumstances, they only maintain a combat effectiveness of more than 1,000. But for Raditz, it is already threatening enough. So Raditz just approached quietly and scouted from a distance. It's not Castle, nor is it Kakarot. This guy doesn't look like an earthling. It's best not to mess with him. Raditz turned and left, flying towards 2 other powerful energy displays. There are 2 very strong power displays, and a lot of weaker energies. They should be them. Just now a strong energy approached and then left? Could it be Son Goku? Piccolo also sensed Raditz's aura and was confused. No, it shouldn't be them, this aura is full of tyranny. Could it be that they are the aliens that Sun Wufei mentioned coming to Earth? No. Follow along and see. Chapter 75. Here we go. In the sky, a figure approached quickly, dived directly in the air, and landed on the small island of Guxianwu. Raditz folded his hands in front of him, looking at Sun Wufei and Son Goku with a defiant look on his face. His 1.86 meter tall stature gave off a strong sense of oppression. However, Sun Wufei and the others did not look panicked. Because the fighting power of everyone present is no longer what it used to be. Castle, Kakarot, it's you guys after all. Raditz stared at Son Goku and Sun Wufei, grinning evilly, you've grown up. But I still recognized you at first sight. You two look so much like your father. Raditz, what are you doing on Earth? Sun Wufei looked at Raditz calmly and asked the question even though he knew the answer. You still remember me, your big brother? Not bad. Raditz's face suddenly darkened. What about the people on this planet? Your mission is to wipe out the humans here. Have you and Kakarot done anything wrong over the years? What? Sun Wufei smiled, of course I will live a good life here, practice martial arts, get married and have children. Don't you have eyes? Can't you see for yourself? That tone showed that he didn't take Raditz seriously at all. Raditz's face darkened. Castle, I am your big brother. Is this how you talk to your big brother? Brother? Maybe there is such a thing in terms of blood relationship. Sun Yufei shrugged noncommittally. Okay, tell me, what are you doing here? I'm here to see you. Raditz pointed at the brothers Son Goku and Son Goku. Perhaps you don't know yet? Planet Vegeta has exploded due to the impact of a meteorite. Almost all scions have turned into dust and disappeared into the depths of the universe. Even our parents. When Raditz talked about his parents, the evil smile on his face did not change at all, as if he was talking about two unrelated people. This shows how cold-hearted he is. There are only 5 scions alive, including the 2 of you. One of them and I were sent to another planet and survived, and the other one was lucky enough to be sent to another planet like you. Not long ago, we found a planet that can be sold at a very high price. But it may be difficult to conquer it with just the 3 of us. Raditz stared at Son Goku and Son Yufei, so I thought of you. Although your power has not been fully awakened, it seems that it is not much worse than mine. With the 2 of you joining us, plus the 3 of us, there should be no problem. Son Yufei scratched his ears and interrupted Raditz's chattering. I say, have you said enough? What? Raditz narrowed his eyes slightly. We brothers are not interested in what you are talking about. Son Yufei waved his hands, as if to shoo away a mosquito. We are scions who grew up on Earth. We have no interest in conquering planets or the universe. Go back to where you came from, don't waste your time here. Raditz's face darkened. So, you are going to reject me? Certainly. 0909. Raditz snorted twice, and looked at Son Gohan and Son Bula beside Bulma. I saw it just now. Those 2 are your children, right? What do you want to do? What? What do you think? Raditz walked towards Son Yufei and said, since you, as fathers, can't reason with me, I'll just have to borrow your child for a bit. Swish. Raditz's figure suddenly blurred, and he kicked Son Yufei hard. It hit Son Yufei right in the abdomen. Call. A muffled sound. Son Yufei didn't move at all. Raditz felt as if he had kicked a piece of extremely tough leather. The force he put in was like a drop in the ocean and had no effect at all. What? Raditz was shocked. How could it be? He took 2 steps back and looked at Son Yufei in disbelief. You clearly only have 1/1000th of your combat power, how can you withstand my attack? Boss, it looks like he can't control the energy in his body, hee. Krillin on the side laughed evilly, how about I compete with him? Need not. Son Yufei shook his head, his eyes flashing with murderous intent. This BD actually wanted to threaten me with Bula. I'm going to kill him with my own hands. After 23 years in the Dragon Ball world, Son Goku has completely adapted to life in this Dragon Ball world and has completely integrated into it. He will never forgive anyone who dares to threaten him with his family and friends. Especially, Raditz even wanted to threaten him with his daughter. It's simply courting death. Bang! Extend your right hand toward Raditz and join your palms together to start the attack. Raditz only felt an invisible force hitting him. With a scream, his whole body was blown off the ground and flew towards the sea in the distance. Goku, you stay here, I'll take care of this guy. Swish! Son Yufei's body ignited into aerosolized gas, and he flew off the ground, chasing after Raditz at high speed. Buzz! 0, more than 10 kilometers away, Raditz reacted and shook the power in his body to stabilize his body. At this time, Son Yufei had already caught up to him and stopped in the air 3 meters away from him. Impossible! You only have 1/1000th of your combat power, how could you possibly hit me? Raditz had clearly been hit by an irresistible force just now, and was sent flying so far. This is definitely not an attack that can be launched by someone with a combat power of only 1/1000th. Raditz, you are too arrogant. Do you really think that I only have 1100 combat power? Son Yufei sneered with disdain. Use your detector to see it clearly. Boom! A powerful energy suddenly spread out from Son Yufei's body. The detector readings above Raditz's eye sockets began to soar. 3000. 7000. Combat power 7,000. Bang! The detector exploded. Raditz's combat power detector is just an old version of the detector, and its combat power detection value is limited. Sun Wufi's combat power has increased so quickly that it has exceeded the detector's tolerance range. Impossible. How can you have a combat power of 7,000? Raditz panicked, his rebellious look was now completely replaced by astonishment and fear. You are just a low-level soldier, how can you achieve such a high combat effectiveness? The detector is broken. The detector must be broken. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you are notified of future uploads. You can find the next parts in the playlist visible on the screen or on my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.